Today's show is brought to you by Recon Tex. That's Recon Tex on the corner of 8th and Black in Springfield, Illinois. Recon Tex is your one-stop vehicle reconditioning center where Recon Tex can give you a car detail that will make your car look better than new. That's right. They detail your car, make it look better than it did when you first bought it. That's how they take care of you. And they also can do a coating, a tsunami coating, which will get your car sparkling clean. And if you buy a 3-year, 5-year, or 7-year coating, say you get a 3-year coating, you don't have to wax your car for the entire 3 years. Just wash it and it's sparkling. Or a 5-year or a 7-year. They have as much as a 7-year coating. It's unbelievable. They get it all at Recon Tex. You can also right now get, for a great price, a remote car start that Recon will put inside your car or put inside your engine, and literally all you do is hit a little button and your car starts, and it's nice and warm when you get inside. They have these sales once a year, and this is the time when it happens. Once a year, you're getting a good price on a remote car start, and it's amazing. In the winter, you turn it on and your car gets nice and warm by the time you get in. Or in the summer, you could turn it on and the air conditioning is going. By the time you get in, it's nice and cool. So that's what you get from a remote car start. One of our fine sponsors, Recon Tex. And it's also brought to you by Just Beds. That's right, Just Beds, the Yarn Exterminator. Just Beds over at 3120 Montvale Drive. Just Beds, where you can go in and pick out a new bed for you and your significant other, or new beds for your kids, or whatever your situation may be. They've got them all, and they've got great prices right now on all sizes. You've got singles, you got doubles, you got queen, you got king. They got great prices on all of them. In fact, say you want to surprise your significant other with a brand new bed, just go to Just Beds, pick one out. I mean, I would suggest having your significant other with you when you're picking out the bed, but do what you want. And then all you do is just pay for it and go home. You don't have to put the mattress on top of your car and drive around like some hillbilly. No, Just Beds has professional delivery service where they come to your house, they bring your bed in, they set it up, they take down your old bed, and they dispose of your used mattress. If your mattress is really dirty, they throw it in Steve's front yard. That's what they do at Just Beds. Just Beds, located at 3120 Montvale Drive. It is Just Beds. Good morning, everybody. We are the Morning Disaster. I'm Ray Lytle. You see Dan and Christina below. And Steve is, I don't know what he's doing. He turned off.
No, we know what he's doing.
He's probably smoking weed. I imagine he's smoking weed. Oh, I'm sorry. Vape or whatever.
Oh, there he is.
For those of you wondering, yeah, he switched to vape because he thinks his people are, he lives in one of these apartment complexes. And because it's federally funded, you're not allowed, because federal law says marijuana is, not legal, even though here in the state of Illinois, it's legal. Steve still is not supposed to smoke flower, so he switched to vape.
Which I don't know why he takes it off camera, but whatever.
Because we know what he's doing.
Well, it's not like as soon as the camera comes on, you see smoke everywhere.
He's doing one of two things when he turns it off. He's vaping or adjusting his balls.
Yeah. He loves to adjust those balls.
Well, he has to, because he's the lawn chair that he's sitting in right now, he probably has to pick his nuts up off the floor so he doesn't step on them.
He's not in a lawn chair, is he? Is he really in a lawn chair?
Folding camping chair, yes.
So you went to his house and he sits in a lawn chair during the show?
Yeah,
oh, my God. How disturbing.
You got to do what you got to do, Ray.
He's unbelievable.
Till he gets that office chair fixed. He's, it's not like he can do the show on that screen from his recliner. Is he? What the?
He's getting ready to rip ass. I guarantee it.
Oh,
yeah, that's the look he gives.
It's like he's trying to seep something out.
Be careful with that squeaker. It might be a leaker.
How you doing, Stever?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, my friend. How are you? Good morning.
I am
You are what?
Okay. I'm okay.
Good old Steve Areno. Oh well. Well, it's good.
I won't complain. But I just woke up. Honestly, I just woke up
So you
at
slept
7:54.
I got up early, but I tried to stretch and all kinds of stuff.
Well, milk dud kept digging at my face, and bitch, stop. And I opened my eyes, and oh shit, and turned my phone on. Oh shit, I only got 5 minutes.
By the way, for those of you that don't know, Steve sleeps about 3 steps away from where he is right now.
I sleep in my recliner, and then I kept it coming from my office.
Yeah. And his recliner is 3 steps away from his office. So he sleeps in the recliner.
3 big steps.
Yeah. And then he
5 steps for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or for those who shuffle their feet 10.
So he gets up and takes 3 steps and he's on the air. So it's not like he's driving 8 blocks.
Well, technically it's about 8 steps because I have to walk over and turn the light switch on first. When I enter the room, I have to turn the light switch on.
You do have to turn the light switch on. I never thought of that.
Yeah. I have to walk all the way across the room.
Hey, why don't you get one of those things where you go? You know what I mean? The clapper.
I never thought of that. I never thought of that. That's a good idea.
Or can't you get a Google thing or a what is the Amazon?
Oh, I can't get a Google thing because I talk to the cat all the time. Google would know what to do.
And have Alexa control the lights or something?
Yeah, we can put a smart bulb in that living room light fixture, and he can just tell Google to turn it on.
I know. I don't.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Now, see, that's when
ripping
you
ass again.
No one wants to see whatever it is you're doing there. Good Lord.
We can't get him a clapper, Steve. He's already got the clapper living down the hall from him.
Oh.
Google wouldn't be able to understand him anyway. They can't translate Merler.
Google speaker would be like, I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Well, now, and this is a free show. This is our second free show of the week. We do, for those that don't know, we do 3 free shows a week. All right. And this is the show that has been named. This has been named Best Local Podcast.
3rd year in a row.
Yeah, for the past 3 years, we've been named Best Local Podcast in Springfield, Illinois.
And they've only given that award 4 times. And what show has gotten it all 4 times?
Yes, I've won it 4 times in a row, my friend. 4 times in a row. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
2021. 2022. You tell I'm trying to stretch my back. And 2023. There you go. Non-stop winning is what we do on this show.
Jeff Cole says Garden Time with Susan got robbed.
Garden Time with Susan is a dirty whore, and no one should listen to that show. No one. No one in their right mind should listen to that whore, Garden Time with Susan.
She was robbed, Ray. According to Jeff, she was robbed.
How dare Jeff? I hope
serious contender knocked out of the competition.
I hope his high school students have a mutiny against him. They bombard him with spitwads. That's what I hope. How dare
I used to be the king of the spitwad.
Yeah, I could never do a spitwad.
I used to. We all had those Bic pens with the blue lids.
Yeah,
and
then
I'd take the insides out of my Bic pen. Man, I was a sniper with those things.
Yeah, some guys are really good at it. I could never figure it out. I did shoot You know, when you're writing something, you tear the page out, turn it, and then shoot it.
Yep.
I did do that a lot. I would shoot. Man, if I'd have been as good in the basketball court as I was with my waste paper, holy shit. If I made, because one thing about me playing basketball is I worked hard. When I played basketball, I'm telling you, I was the hardest working person on the team. No one, you know, I would run super hard, and you know, I would kill myself on the team. But if I'd have shot as good with an actual basketball as I did with those paper basket, with those wadded up paper things, oh my God, I'd have scored 50 points a game. Unfortunately, I was not as good because whenever I shot the paper, I seemed to be open. Whenever I shot the real basketball, there was always it seemed there was always you know, someone on me.
There's not going to be anybody on you when you're shooting a paper ball.
That's what I mean. If I'd have been as good with a basketball as I was with wadded up paper,
nobody's boxed you out in history class.
Yeah, I could have gone to college playing. Although I when I went, I know I'm going to say this and no one's going to believe it, but I'm telling you, it's the fucking truth. I had gotten so good in basketball. I was playing every day with these guys who were older than me. I played every day between my senior year of high school until I left for college. I played every day of basketball. And by the time I went to college, I had to play on my visit day. When I went to school, I had to play basketball on my visit day because they knew I played in high school. And so they had me practice and play. And the coach was like, yeah, you're blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I got no offer on the visit day. You know, my scholarship was in choir, but they
had to figure out what your scholarship was going to be in.
Yeah, no, well, yeah.
Whether it was going to be in sports or
no, I didn't even have to try out for the vocal thing because I got all state honors, whatever, in choir. So I got that. But I had to hit a baseball and I had to play basketball. And I tried as hard as I could in the basketball, but there were some things missing. And I hit like crazy in baseball. But by the time I got there, they had dissolved the team. Really? They dissolved the baseball team, yeah. So my scholarship was for vocal music, no matter what. But this was to try to get money added on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because the scholarship covered school, and it didn't cover all of the room and board. It didn't cover all of it, so they're trying to get another scholarship to cover the rest of it. And I couldn't get a basketball, baseball one. But I played so much that by the time I got to school, they were putting the team together after, you know, the basketball team started playing after the soccer team. And I had played so much that by the time I got there, I actually would go down to the gymnasium. As soon as I moved into the dorm, I'd go to the gymnasium just to play for fun. And the basketball coach saw me and was like, "Whoa, you're a brand new player now." You know what I mean? Because I could shoot. And the basketball coach wanted me to play. He said, "I will give you a spot on the freshman team right now. Just come and play." You know what I mean? And I really, really had improved a lot. But by then I had also taken up another recreational sport called drinking.
Oh.
And
you don't get scholarships for that.
I got very good at that too. But I'll tell you right, there's a guy named Randy Warner who was from Pekin, who could actually who could attest that I was offered to play college basketball, at least on the college freshman team. And I didn't. I decided not to do it, but I was at least offered. So I'm just telling you something that you, like I said, it's something you're not going to believe, but I was offered a chance to play college basketball, and I did not do it. So no, I wish I would have been offered to the pocket pool team.
Steve is
Steve
he's
was
all-
the captain. He's the captain.
he's all state.
Krager was the one that wanted that one. He had the longest
God.
stick.
By the way, the guy you went to high school with, the guy you went to high school with, you'd look at all the packages of the guys in school. And what happened to Krager, by the way? As you got older, what happened to Krager?
He turned gay.
You don't think
What?
he was? So he wasn't gay when you would look at his?
Well, I think he was gay in high school.
Yeah, well, yeah. As it turns out, people are born. You know,
But he
yeah,
didn't come out until he was older.
yeah, but he might not come out, but
Yeah, you don't
knew.
turn gay.
So Iliopolis in the 80s isn't the time to come out if you're going to be gay.
I know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Steve may not be gay, but he did have a lot in common with Krager. Neither one of them sleep with women.
I bet Krager slept with someone. Went out with a girl in high school, didn't he?
Oh, he
Yeah,
dated some women I know in high school.
yeah.
Um,
All the guys
Nice.
that I went to high school with who ended up being gay, they all dated or attempted to date women in high
Yeah,
school, or
yeah.
they.
Yeah, you got to establish a cover story.
Yeah. Well, no, because society, has such a. It's not like that anymore. But when I went to high school and Steve went to high school, there was things called normal,
yeah.
and then there was gay, which was
Mhm.
thought of as not normal.
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm very glad that young people these days, they don't have to.
Right.
They
yeah.
don't have as much pressure.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
If you're gay, you can
You can
whatever.
be open about it. Everybody's okay with it. But back then,
Nope.
it wasn't okay. I mean, it was different. You were different.
Lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, whatever. Lesbian.
Oh, you did. I didn't even hear transgender until several years ago.
That's what I mean. Now, nobody cares. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that they care. There's always people bitching about something, but now there's people very young say, and I see kids in high school, all their friends know, and nobody says anything.
Right. Yeah.
I think of the guys that had to hide it and the girls that had to hide it when we went to high school.
Yep.
So I'm very happy that at least these days society allows kids to be themselves.
There is a child actor, I believe he's 11 years old. But I think at the age of like 7, he decided that he, even though he was born female, he wanted to be male. And he's got a lot of starring roles in a lot of things and appears on the credits under a male. Well, it's kind of an ambiguous name. I forget the kid's name now. He's in that Tim Allen Santa Claus TV or Netflix series. And
he's gotten roles as a
As a
girl,
male.
or as a
as
male.
Yeah.
He was born what?
Female.
Oh, okay. So I mean, what
And-
would be odd is to have roles as a female and
Right.
then transition.
In the Santa Claus series, it's kind of ambiguous. You can't really tell, but it doesn't matter if that's what he wants to be.
Yeah.
And he's been going by, he's been a male since he was like 7 years old,
All right. Yeah. Well, it means his,
and his parents allowed him to make that choice.
his
So
parents understood.
yeah,
Because you can't get the surgery till a certain age, right?
right.
But it's so weird in this country how, everybody else wants to decide that stuff for you. I don't know. I'm just glad that it exists.
Yeah.
I say keep people happy.
We had a guy in high school that was very flamboyant. Everybody swore up and down that he was gay, and he played up to it. I mean, he walked around looking and acting like Prince, and very flamboyant, and had like 4 girlfriends all at one time.
Like
He was,
Prince. I wish I'd have known somebody like Prince.
he was very flamboyant, very.
I loved Prince.
Yeah. And he had like 4 girlfriends, and they all knew about it. He was a serious player.
Oh,
But everybody swore, just to judge a book by its cover, you knew what was in that book. You swore he was gay, but no, he had all kinds of chicks.
mm-hmm. Nice cover. Very nice. That was Steve's cover when Steve would look at all the cranks of all the guys on the football team with him. Steve would check out every guy's crank, and he would know what.
Yeah.
He knew what every guy on the football team was working with.
Mm-hmm.
He knew every single person.
Mm-hmm.
Like to show you a defensive tackle.
You gotta quit moaning like.
Why?
You do that disturbing moan.
Before we went live, you were talking about being in your bathtub, and he was doing that shit.
Unbelievable. He's always moaning like. It's okay, Steve. You can come out now. I don't know what the hell you got going on, but good Lord.
Be who you are.
Yeah, be yourself. Good Lord. Wait till we have our first transgender president.
Oh,
You know it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
You know it's gonna happen.
I think maybe Hillary Clinton's already won.
Well, if you watch a different podcast, you swear we've already had a transgender first lady.
I'm telling you, there will be. I gotta be honest. I don't know when we're gonna get a female president. You know what I mean? This country is so anti-women.
Oh yeah.
Well, it took forever to get a black president, and I think there are certain parts of the country that are still recovering from that.
Yeah,
and
but
they're going to do what they can to stop a female from getting the job.
I'm going to tell listen. Who'd have thought that states that are every day they wake up and they go, God damn, I wish we still had slavery. You know what I mean? Like this Mississippi and Alabama, and yet we had a black president already in this country. But God forbid we have a woman president. I mean, I thought Hillary Clinton, in all honesty, and I'm saying this, I know some people are going to, and this show isn't political, but I thought Hillary Clinton would have been a fantastic president.
Well, I'm not saying that.
I think
I'm saying from her looks.
But in fact, the only thing with Hillary Clinton is that there are people that are convinced, they're just convinced that I would never vote for that woman, no matter, blah, blah, blah. Even people who are hardcore liberal didn't vote for
Right.
her, which is crazy. So I just don't know when we're going to get a female president.
When Biden dies.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be the vice president. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, Hillary Clinton lost to Trump. You know, I'm not making commentary on Trump, but I mean, this is a guy who before the election, he ran against her. They had tape of him.
Grabbing people.
Yeah, they had a tape where he was like grabbing pussy and all that other stuff in that conversation, and still people voted for him over Hillary Clinton.
Well, I guess they thought that grabbing people's pussies was better than having people killed. So,
but I mean, there was no proof. There was no proof that Hillary. I mean, I don't think Hillary Clinton ever had anybody killed, but there was no proof of that. But there was 100% proof of Trump. You know, they got him. He was on tape saying you just grab him by the pussy, blah, blah. And still he ended up beating her. So I don't know if this country's ever ready for a female.
we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it would be.
How many movies the last several years, movies that involve the president, how many of those has the president been female?
I know there've been some, but I couldn't. You know.
We watched Hunter Killer the other night with Gerard Butler. It's a submarine movie.
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
The president was female. Oh, it was a good movie too, by the way. I enjoyed it. She enjoyed the first 10 minutes of it.
But isn't that crazy? You know, isn't that nuts? But I'll tell you what. If for some reason Trump drops out, if you look at the Republican polls, the person that's second in the Republican poll is a woman. So how crazy would it be if a Republican woman is the first female president? And I wonder, wouldn't it be something if there's a transgender person that was born female and then transformed into male, that if they end up winning a presidency before the first female wins one, wouldn't that be crazy?
I don't care who's driving the bus as long as they drive it in the right direction.
I don't care what your gender is.
Do the most good for the most amount of people. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't care what your gender is or what your sexual preference is. Like, so many people are still worried about gay people. Good Lord, who cares?
Yeah, if they're not trying to fuck you, don't fucking worry about it.
Well, I don't worry who you want to have sex with. You know what I mean? Like, people are worried about children and whether children are gay or whatever. Little kids don't have sex. What the hell are you worried about? That's the craziest thing. This country gets so caught up in, in all kinds of, in all kinds of craziness.
Holly makes a good point. She said, like, none of us guys have ever talked dirty about other people in the presence of friends. I think it's funny, though. She said if more people were getting grabbed by the pussy, they wouldn't be so crotchety. That's pretty funny, Holly.
So Holly wouldn't mind it if she got grabbed by the pussy?
No, I'm not going to make it. That's sexual assault.
Yeah, it is.
That is sexual assault. I am not okay with that ever happening. I would never. What kind of society would we live in if that was allowed to be? If that was okay?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
She does have a valid point, though. I mean, like in the locker room, the football locker room. What have you said about women? Sitting around talking to your friends after the show. What have we said about women here on the show?
Here's what I say. Here's what I would say about women. Is I would say, oh man, so and so, that girl looks good. She's got a nice set of this. Or she's got an ass that's out of this world. But I have never, ever in my entire life, and I don't think that any other person on the show now has either, I have never advocated for it being okay to sexually assault someone. I would never, ever say that was okay. Never. I just, I would have been okay if it would have been a tape of him saying, boy, I'll tell you, these women, so-and-so has nice tits, or so-and-so.
Yeah, that would have been a little more normal.
Yeah, that would have been normal. But to say, oh, if I want a woman, I just grab her by the, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I don't, there's a big difference in saying so-and-so is hot and I want to go sexually assault someone. I don't know. And by the way, I don't think I've ever grabbed anyone by,
I know I haven't.
You got to carry them like a bowling ball, Ray.
That's all right. I mean, and then that person who said that still whipped the hell out of Hillary Clinton in a presidential election. That was my point. So in this, I just don't know. I don't know. Like I would have no problem voting for a female for president. None was. In fact, I voted for Hillary Clinton. I would have absolutely no problem if Kamala Harris was running. If Biden didn't run and Kamala Harris, I would vote for Kamala Harris. However, say it's Kamala. This will be crazy. It's going to happen. It's going to happen sometime in the future. What if Kamala Harris runs against Nikki Haley, 2 women? Then you've got to vote for a woman.
Yep.
But I would tell you that would be the first time. That would be the first time that you'd have a third-party candidate get the most amount of votes a third-party candidate ever got, is if they ran against 2 women. Because I think this country, part of this country is still in the dark ages.
Yep. And probably always will be.
I don't know. Like, I got to be honest. I think the world's ready for a female president. We can use. I think women are more pragmatic. I think women are more pragmatic and more, open to. They're just open to talk things out.
Yeah, open to conversation.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we've needed a female president for like we probably should have a female 20 years ago. But oh well. Yeah. What do you do? What do you do, Steve?
Live and learn.
I want to take a second to thank Irene because I got a Christmas gift from Irene yesterday that was so nice. It was so nice. I got a Christmas gift for my wife and I and my daughter. And it was from Irene. So I want to take a second to thank her. It was a very, very nice Christmas gift. So thank you, Irene. And then I got a Christmas card from Tom that had a very nice letter in it. It was very funny. And by the way, Joel's in the chat room saying, I knew John Lamb was gay and I didn't say anything.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I just want to say Lamb, very not gay. He was.
His ex-wives will tell you that.
Yeah, the ex-wives and the women that he went with when he was married, they will tell you that no. Out of the blue the other day, I get a text from Lamb on Facebook, and I look down, and it's just this person's name that we went to college with. And I'm like, why did he send me this person's name? Oh my God, did they die or what was it? And so I said, why did you send me this name? And he proceeds to share with me this. He decides to share with me to remind me of this story we had. There was a night where Lamb and I went out and we hooked up with. We hooked up with these girls, right? And then we were driving from. We partied all night with these girls, and then we were driving back to Lamb's house, and this girl was in the radio program with us, and she was on the air at like 6 a.m. They put her on the air, and it was on a weekend. So Lamb and I were in our car, and this girl was. And it's just gonna make no sense to anybody, but she was going, well, good morning. Good morning. That was the Journeys. Any ways you want it. And it was the funniest radio break that I have ever heard. And that's from now since. It was the most outrageous radio break I have ever heard. And it was this girl doing it. And he just out of the blue sends me this girl's name. And dude, I'm telling you, it was so funny. I just remember Lamb and I riding in his car, listening to maybe the worst radio break in the history of the medium. That was the Journeys. She turned the band Journey into the Journeys. And it was just crazy. So I knew you guys would get it, but
was she an idiot or was she just trying to be funny?
No, she had no business being in.
She probably shops at the Walmarts too.
Oh yeah, I know she stops at the Walmart.
No, the Walmarts.
That was the Journey.
That's where Steve goes. I'm gonna go to the Walmarts.
You want it? By the way, I see Carla is in the chat room. Carla's in the chat room, and Carla has a fan, by the way, in Bubba the Baker. I saw Bubba the Baker.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Bubba the Baker was on Facebook, and he made a post about, and by the way, Carla is Christina's sister, for those that don't know. And Bubba the Baker made a post about Carla.
Well, Steve, looks like you're out of contention now.
Yep.
You've been replaced.
Bronco Billy Hard on.
Yeah. You think he's here's what he said. Here's his post. It goes, "Good morning, Ray. Hope your back is better. Hope you are doing well, handsome Steve. Hope the lovely Christina is feeling better. I hope everyone is doing well. Carla was a big part of the show yesterday. Hi, Carla. How you doing? Ready for another great show?" And of course, Christina had to comment.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we saw you comment. Yeah. So anyway, I just I guess I want to thank Carla. We had one of our regular listeners was somehow so I guess she's the new one that he's
I guess
she'll be the new one that he's gonna, flirt with or whatever.
I was setting his sights somewhere else.
Yeah. Anyway. And and she was in yesterday, so I see Amanda says good morning.
Oh, just good morning, Carla. Fuck the rest of us. That's fine. Whatever.
Here's the Journeys. Don't you stop believing now. Yeah, Karen, the break
don't you stop believing now
was very similar to that. By the way, Amanda says, "Who does Steve have a crush on now?" Yesterday, Steve was hitting on Carla.
I was hitting.
Who doesn't?
I just think he was just gearing up. Yesterday, Yesterday, it was Carla. I don't know who it's going to be today. It's always somebody with Steve. Steve has illicit thoughts about
everybody.
Yeah, look at that smoke. Good Lord.
He needs him. It used to be somebody needed 2 tits, a hole, and a heartbeat. But with him, he doesn't even have to have tits, just a hole and a heartbeat.
Boy, you love that weed, Steve. What
doesn't have to have a heartbeat either.
Good. Yeah, they don't have to have a heartbeat either. Just a hole. And you can make one of those.
I know he's got his mic off. Was he sucking in the fumes or
yeah,
coughing? I don't know what he was doing, but good Lord. It looked like the pot smoke was blown out and then he was going trying to suck
it in. You got to catch it.
Yeah.
You've never seen guys do that at parties?
Here's what I saw at parties. I used to see a person would take a big hit. See, I have never been able to smoke pot. It's just, I wish to God that I could. It's sativa, by the way, but I react to it so wrong. I just don't react to it well. And even my doctor, in my adult years, have told me, just don't, you're allergic to it. Just, it's not for you. But these guys used to take these big hits Okay. And then they would blow the smoke into other people's mouths.
Mhm.
So at least somebody's getting the benefit of what they're exhaling.
Yeah. And I used to think that that was very gay.
Oh yeah, that's a good makeout tool there.
Yeah. But they would do it to other guys.
Ugh.
Yeah. I've seen, when I was young, I would see a guy take a big hit off a joint like at a party and then blow it into another guy's mouth. And I would always go, oh, find a bedroom, you two.
Oh, that's not even right, man.
No, but I would see it. That's what I'm,
Eh.
you
He
know.
must have been hanging out with Kroger.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is I would see, see guy, and I would be like, oh, get a bedroom.
That's just weird. Amanda says Steve can blow smoke rings. Funny thing is, there was a guy on the football team named Smoke Rings.
Yeah,
so
Steve blew.
Steve was blowing smoke rings.
By the way, Irene says I think that's called shotgunning. Is that what
I don't remember what that's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it shotgunning?
Yep.
Shotgunning for me involved beer.
Oh yeah.
We-
That's what you put the hole in the beer. You take the
Yeah.
you put the hole.
Yeah.
Then you put the hole to your mouth and pop the tab.
Yeah.
I could never do that.
I did that, but I was the first person in Gillespie with a beer bong. And the beer bong, by the way, the beer bong was great.
I can't.
Yeah, you're gonna. I don't remember beer
You
bong.
never
What is
see.
it?
All right, a beer bong is like it's a funnel. Okay, it's like a big.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in a hose. Okay.
Yeah.
You take the hose and you put the end of the hose in your mouth. Okay.
The whole.
So you put the other end of the hose in your mouth, and then you fill it with beer. And then when you lift the beer above the person's head, it just the speed that the beer shoots into your mouth is insane.
Yeah.
And you have to drink it, or there's a mess.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that I was the first person. My uncle was going to Eastern Illinois, and he brought it from Chicago to Eastern. And then he, made a beer bong for me and brought it to Gillespie. And so I would take this beer bong around and then I ended up taking it to college with me. And then I had to have a hearing. I ended up having a hearing at college because I put the beer bong on my wall. And then I would take it from my wall whenever we'd have a party. And they tried the guy who was the RA.
Uh-huh.
You got reported for contraband, didn't you?
Yeah, they put me for something. So he went to the head resident or whatever, and the guy came and he wanted to steal, and I said, you can't take that. And so we had to have a hearing, and I ended up winning the hearing because I was able to say that it was modern art, that it was a piece of modern art that I just wanted to hang on
Freedom
my
of
wall.
expression.
And he was saying that is a device to do drugs and alcohol.
Uh-huh.
Like, what? No, why would I have it? And part of my argument was, I don't even know how I would take drugs with this.
Right. Yeah.
And I won by saying it was modern art. So I did not get any points or penalties for having a beer bong.
Yeah. We used to say that shit about having a bong. The bong, big bong, big bong.
It was called a beer bong, but it had nothing to do with drugs.
Yeah.
It was just to drink alcohol.
I thought it was a smoking bong. I had one that was like 6 foot tall.
Well, it was
Oh
obvious.
shit!
It was obvious to me that someone told him that's a beer bong. And
So
then
he heard the word bong.
he heard the name bong, and he tried to say that it was some kind of drug.
Yeah.
And I was
Well,
like, it's not.
I suppose you could. You could pack the bottle. And then
I won the hearing, and
Yeah.
and said that it was modern art, and I won.
Irene says she used to do keg stands. I can't imagine her trying to do that because when she got upside down, wouldn't her tits fall and cover her face?
Yeah, obviously, right?
I did my first keg stand at my son's wedding, and I showed all those 20-something college kids how to do it. I beat them all.
I've never done a kickstand or a keg stand in my life.
Keg stand's pretty fun.
And yeah, I've always been too big.
I saw them doing it, and I'm like, hey, this looks like fun. Let me try it. And they're like, oh, I bet you can't go as long as we do. And they held me upside down, and I was there for, I don't know. I was there for a while. I beat them all.
If you can drink upside down, you get it.
Yeah. And then talking about shotgun and the beer, I was at a party at my cousin's apartment, and I had my beer can, and I took my knife, and of course, I was already well on my way to not caring about shit. And I went to stab the hole in the can, and I went all the way through the can and into my hand.
Oh, Jesus. So what message did you send to Carla yesterday, Steve?
Who?
You. What message did you send? I saw where she said, where is it? She said, Steve, I read your message.
Oh, I don't know. I'll probably say, what's up? What's up? What's up, homegirl?
Well, that'll make him come running or run coming, one of the two.
What's up, homegirl?
Was that the message?
Greatest pickup line of all time.
Ooh.
What's up, homegirl?
Ooh.
Carla says she's going to hop in the shower and listen to the show, Steve.
Ooh. No comment to that. No comment to that.
Has to go now.
She's
gonna turn his
mind
camera
is going crazy right now.
Congratulations, Christina. Now he's
You're gonna have a
hitting-
new relative.
Yeah.
Steve's gonna be your brother-in-law.
He's hitting on the family.
Oh, I've always been hitting on Carla. And she's always, it's like a fantasy to me, you know. There's no way in hell I would ever get an attractive woman like Carla. I'm the fat fucking disabled motherfucker that's regularly.
So
But he gets mad when we say that about him.
Yeah, if we would say that about you, you'd be complaining and bitching about it for days.
I wrote a whole song about how he was a fat load of shit, and he got offended by that. But yet, listen to what he says about him.
He's a fat load of shit. A fat
load of shit. A fat load of shit with shit stained undies. He's a fat load of shit.
That fucking song was in my head yesterday. God damn it. I kept saying
It is
Mission
the
accomplished.
season. It's the Christmas season, Steve.
and I don't have shit stained undies on right now.
You don't have any undies on right now.
This is shower day because, man, I gotta figure. I don't want to.
Pum. You forgot. You didn't. Steve was talking. We didn't hear the beginning.
Around his crotch.
Pecker gnats. Pum. They fly around his crotch. Pum. Hope you guys hear that all right. They gather around his crotch and circle his bum. They like the smell of shit. Pum. It's not all they like. Pum. It's leftover.
We got to get you to redo that one without laughing.
Oh, that's just so disturbing. Do I have a copy of Fat Load of Shit? Let me see.
Yeah, I think you played it last week.
Yeah. Well, TJ sent me a bunch of them. So he grabbed a bunch of classic old songs and emailed them to me. And I think I just played it. And I'll play it again if I can find it.
It was weird. I don't know why. Yesterday I was just.
Didn't I play it on a subscriber show or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I know I'm just sitting there. So I go, he's a fat little shit. A fat little shit.
He's a
He's
fat
little shit. What's the saying then? He's a fat little shit.
Carla says she loves jelly roll. Well, you're in luck, Carla, because Steve's got more rolls in the bakery. I'm sure you can find some jelly in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you if I had
Steve's your man.
the jelly roll had, she'd be all over me.
What did you eat? What? Huh?
I don't know.
Don't forget
My-
tonight's smoke signals. Tonight.
Was
My
stainless-
closed captioning just said, "What the fuck?"
Did I miss stainless last night?
We didn't do a stainless.
Oh, okay.
She had a.
I was in bed.
Yeah, she had a horrible migraine. She was in bed when I got home from work, and I didn't even want to wake up.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, man. I've been out of it for past 2 days now. This back is messing me up. God damn. Like I'm fine now sitting, and I keep wanting to lean back. You know what I mean? But good Lord, my back is such a mess. I just don't know what I did. I don't know.
Trying to keep yourself balanced, you probably knotted something up.
It's my the right side of my lower back, and my leg gets numb.
You pinched the nerve in your hips, sounds
Yeah.
like.
Well, but it's in my back. It's on the side.
Well, but when you
my upper ass, Steve. If you go to my,
when you walk when you at the cemetery and you kept adjusting, so you somewhere you does something.
yeah, it was my father's service.
Yeah.
That's what caused it. I was trying to stand. They had a funeral and there was no chairs. So I was trying to stand, and then I thought I was going to fall over because I've been standing too long. So trying to balance myself, that's when something happened to it.
Now, I know some cemeteries won't allow chairs if there's been a lot of rain recently because the chairs will sink into the ground, but we haven't had that much rain.
No, they just everybody else was fine. But I had trouble standing because I'm fat and I've got bad knees. My knees are horrible.
You probably pulled a muscle or knotted one up.
Yeah. So that's what's causing all my pain. I mean, it's just, I got to tell you, I was out of it yesterday. I was just out of it.
I was too yesterday. I felt funny all day. I couldn't decide whether I was going to be sick or what. I felt like a fat load of shit.
Yeah.
I sat there in my blanket most of the day and watched TV and
yeah, and what?
Would pee a lot.
That chair.
Well, I took a water pill because I have this excess fluid, and it's driving me nuts.
I can't understand anything he's saying.
He said he had to take a water pill yesterday, so he had to get up and pee a lot because he has all that extra fluid he's trying to get rid of.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
But at least getting up to go pee is exercise.
I need a translator, whatever.
I'm fluent in redneck and Marler.
Yeah. Dan has to be the translator.
I'm sorry. Did you not understand what I said?
Oh, I understand you just fine, Steve. It's fine.
I couldn't understand what you just said there. I just can't understand you. Anyway, it's time for another Christmas song, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Just to get us in the mood, because there's going to be a fresh one tomorrow night.
Yeah, let me get a Christmas song for everybody so you can think about the holidays. Merry Christmas! Feliz Navidad! Steve's a fat load of shit. He's a fat load of shit. Steve's a fat load of shit with piss-stained undies. A fat load of shit. Steve's a fat load of shit. He's a fat load of shit. A fat load of shit. Who's smoking reefer. He's a fat load of shit. He wants to steal all the day-old donuts. He wants to steal all the day-old donuts. He let Shelly come and look at his nuts, and he smells just like a fart. He wants to steal all the day-old donuts. He's got feces leaking out from his butt. He has to see and look at his nuts.
Nope.
He smells just like a fart.
Nope.
Steve's a fat
That
load.
little shit.
He's a fat
That
load of
little
shit.
shit.
He's chugging Fanta, a fat load of shit.
Do I need to write you a new song so you stop
Fat
fucking this
load
one
of
up?
shit.
That little shit.
A fat load of shit. He's a fat
That
load
little
of shit.
shit.
Smoking reefer, a fat load of shit. He wants to
Steal
steal all
you the day old donuts.
He's got feces leaking out from his butt. He let Shelly come and look at his nuts, and he smells like a fart. He wants to eat all the donuts. He wants to steal all the day-old donuts. He's got feces leaking out from his butt, and he smells just like a fart. He's a fat load of shit. He's a fat
That
load
little
of shit.
shit.
It's good until Steve. It's good until Steve sings backups. That's when it gets wild.
His backups may be the best part of the song.
It's just the timing is so bad.
Yeah. Well, he may be on a little bit of a delay, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
We were in the car the other day, and we had the radio on the Christmas channel, and Feliz Navidad came on, and of course, I didn't hear the actual words. All I heard in my head was that song.
He's a fat load of shit. I should have done chit instead of shit. You know what I mean?
Chit.
It's a fat load of chit.
Well, you can get away with it. I couldn't write it that way, but you
Yeah.
can get away with singing it that way.
Yeah, because it would be like I'm making fun of myself. But
Right.
by the way, Carla says, I saw your brother Goose yesterday. Well, I'll make it grammatically okay.
Oh.
I saw your brother Goose yesterday at my store, Ray. Well, when you see him, tell him your brother is very sorry, so you should speak with him again.
I wonder how she saw him, because most of those clothing racks are too tall to actually see him.
You're not making the situation better, Dan.
I can say that because I have the same problem.
I was just gonna say, how did you know that?
Remember, my mother told my wife, because I don't talk to my mother. My mother told my wife that, Ray needs to apologize to his brother Roland.
Ray has apologized to
And
Roland.
I have apologized. So and so Dee says, she tells her mom, she goes, well, he has apologized to him. He's called him. Goose won't talk to him. And my mom goes, well, he should apologize on the air.
Yeah.
So my
How
wife,
many times have you done that?
my wife says, you should apologize to your brother on the air, because your mom says, she goes, maybe that's what he wants. So remember, and I just want to point this out, last week on the show, did I or did I not apologize to my brother Goose?
Yes,
Very
you did.
sincere and very heartfelt.
And
And
Dan,
it's
Dan actually
before your
apologized.
mother told you to.
And Dan apologized as well.
Exactly.
So I did what my mother said. I never heard anything.
And you
I
did
don't-
it before she told you to do it. So it's not like you're only doing it because mom said to.
Yeah. So I don't know what I have to do. I really, I'll try anything, because I apologize. I love my brother. I just want to have a normal relationship with him.
Right.
I want him to talk to me. And in fact, last week I even said how much I miss the Goose. I love the show Goose Troop.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
great. I love that show. I thought he and Cindy did a fantastic show, especially when it was him and Cindy and that other guy. I can't remember. I don't know why.
Yeah, Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
Carl. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were great. And I said how much I'd like to have that show back on. Still, I didn't even hear from Cindy.
Well, Cindy is in our chat room.
Well, if she agrees with me or not, maybe Cindy doesn't want to do the show, but I just want to say I love that show. I thought that show was great.
Cindy's in our chat room. Maybe she can get the message to Goose
Maybe
about
Cindy
how sorry we are.
maybe she heard the apology and can share with him to listen. I just don't know. Because I've
I
tried.
haven't reached out to him. He won't talk to me either.
Oh, Cindy says he doesn't listen to the show. Well, I'm just saying, Cindy, did you hear the apology? You know?
Yeah, this is.
You should let him know. Say, hey, listen, I was listening to the show, and your brother gave a very heartfelt apology to you.
I had one sister, and she's gone now, and I'd give anything to have her back. And you guys have already lost a sibling, so you guys should know. Shit like this needs to be. You need to wash that shit under the bridge and let it go, because what's going to happen if one of you dies with this difference between you? You can't have that shit.
Yeah.
Siblings need to stick together. Siblings
I know,
need to.
right? Yeah, I get along. My brother Bodine and I get along fine. Foon, my brother Foon, we get along. Like, I could literally go months without talking to my brother Foon, and we pick up we pick up automatically. Like, there's never.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. I mean, Christina's got sisters in the chat room right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't let that shit get in between you, because you're only given a finite number of siblings, and when they're gone, they're fucking gone.
Yeah. So I don't,
I still have a running list that gets bigger every day of things that I want to talk to my sister about, and you don't get that time back.
Well, I have to admit, I don't talk to my sister that often. I did see her. She actually went to my father's service, so I saw her and gave her a hug and everything. But but I didn't. She didn't sit with us at the lunch.
You said she was sitting with.
She sat
with
my stepbrother. Yeah, and listen, my stepsister, Tammy, I will actually, I got to admit, my stepbrother, we've known each other forever, but we just have not spent a lot of time together. You know what I mean? But my stepsister, Tammy, we get along very well. I love seeing Tammy, but
now step siblings are a little different. I don't talk to my stepbrother or my hot brother.
Your hot brother?
Hop brother. He has one leg. Hot brother. He's not a stepbrother.
I thought you were saying, like, you got a brother. Like, my stepbrother's really hot. He's my hot brother.
No, hot brother.
I didn't know what you were implying there. But I talk more to my stepsister than I do to my real sister. But still, because Goose was my best friend and brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It pisses me off when people let shit like that get in between their, the sibling family connection.
Brady says Goose Troop was a great show. I really liked when they were trying out local restaurants. Life is too short. I hope you all get it figured out.
Yeah.
I do too. Because my brother Goose he was literally my best friend and also my brother. And everything in my house, when my wife had a problem, this is honest to God true. If something goes wrong in my house, my wife wouldn't even tell me. She's like, oh my God, we're having problems with the garbage disposal. She wouldn't even tell me. She would just call Goose and say, Goose, the garbage disposal isn't working. And Goose would, all of a sudden, he'd be by. And next thing you know, he's got a big thing of tools with him and he's under the sink, dude. I'm like, what's going on? And my wife would go, oh, don't worry about it. Because, she'd be like, well, you're not going to fix anything. So she would automatically go to Goose for all that stuff.
Right.
Now she calls me.
Yeah. So it's like, my God, what the, I can't believe, that he got so angry at me. So I've apologized over and over. I'll say it again. I apologize sincerely for making you so angry. And by the way, Goose Troop is a great show, and everybody's saying in the chat room how much they like Goose Troop.
We still have Goose Troop merch in the other room, stuff she had made that Goose had ordered.
Yeah,
we still have it in there. It's made and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
We should sell it. In fact, I'll give it away. I'll give it away. We're just not going to let it rot. We'll sell it.
Let me out.
Because if he finds out we're selling stuff, I don't know if he'll get more angry or just finally realize it's.
I don't know. Huh?
Yeah.
That's a good question there.
What do you think, Christina? Should we just sell it? Should we sell Goose Troop merchandise?
I mean, it's just sitting around. Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we should sell it, and we'll just. This is the classic show, Goose Troop. So
Yeah, just like the CDs,
yeah, we'll just sell it. Because look at that. Oh, the Goose. Oh,
That's the trivia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good show.
Goose Trivia and Cocktails was an awesome show. Damn. Oh, look at. Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a fucking nice son of a bitch.
We
There.
might as well sell it.
Oh,
Very nice.
got the question marks and the die.
Who was his co-host in that? Wasn't he would have different co-hosts, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew he had Irene at one point. Then he had Steve. Then he had,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great color of blue. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda says, stir the shit. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I just, we shouldn't let them go to waste. Amanda says, that's sad, but sometimes distance is the best. We have had to do that with family. If it's not for anyone, it's not healthy for anyone to be fighting. Yeah, I agree. I do agree people shouldn't fight, but listen, my relationship with Goose, I'm not fighting with him. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about Goose. I'm not the one fighting with him. He's the one who's not talking to me. Like I talk to him just fine.
Yeah, it has to be a two-way thing.
Yeah. Right now, it's very one way. It's me just, and it's him. He's having one-sided arguments, and I'm having one-sided conversations.
Steve's having one-sided thoughts, apparently. What's going on up there?
No, just I'm sitting there and imagining the fun times we had with Goose. Remember when he was working out and he'd go to the baseball field when it was real cold and run?
Yeah.
Great.
That was hilarious.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was part of the weight loss challenge, so he was running the bases.
And by the way, he lost a bunch of weight, but he stopped talking to me before the final weigh-in, so he would have won that. There's no doubt he would have won that.
Yeah. He's rounding third. I'm rounding fourth.
I find it troubling that Steve finds Ray fighting with Goose funny. Yeah, you're right.
No, I was imagining Goose
Steve takes pleasure
running the bases.
Steve takes pleasure in the fact that Goose won't talk.
Schadenfreude.
Meanwhile, Jeff says, let's get Spanky to mediate. No, we don't want Spanky to be the mediator.
Yeah.
If Spanky's a mediator, nothing will be resolved. Someone will end up dead.
He's going to run over somebody in that golf cart.
Karen says, Ray, look at the camera, give your most heartfelt apology, and share the shit out of it on Facebook.
He's already done that.
I think I did that last week.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have Jason edit the show and just the apology, and we'll put it on Goose's Facebook.
There you go.
Idea. Jason, see if we can do that. Just edit to where it's just the apology, and then we'll put the apology up. You know what I mean? That's a good idea.
Oh.
Yeah. But isn't there? I mean, I don't know. The only person with family in the chat room is Christina. None of my family's in there.
I had this conversation with my mom and my remaining aunts.
Yeah.
Because there's a rift between two of my aunts. I had 3 aunts. One of them decided to die in a bathtub, and the rift between 2 of the others continued. And I had to tell them, look, knock this shit out. It didn't work. They're still at it. But I'm like, you see what happens. This one died just out of the blue for no reason, and that can happen to any one of you at any fucking time. Clear this shit up and knock this shit off.
How'd she die in the bathtub?
You what?
How'd she die in the bathtub? Was she doing a little blow?
She went out like a movie star. No, she had a heart attack in the tub, and my other aunt found her. She wasn't answering her phone, so she went over and looked, and there she was in the bathtub. And, you know, that shit can happen to anybody. So, you know, Goose, I know you're not listening, but I've apologized for my actions. Ray's apologized for his. You can't let shit like this come between family. Clear that up.
Oh, God, I don't want to die naked. Oh. Oh my God,
I'm gonna die doing something stupid, half dressed, you know.
I'm gonna die. It's gonna be a week before anybody finds me.
I don't want to die naked. That seems like a horrible way to die. You know.
Can't tell you how many people have gone and picked up, and you know, people die at the most inconvenient times, so they're half dressed or not dressed, or you know, there's one dude in his wife beater and tidy whities.
I mean,
try to plan ahead. If you think you might die today, put on something decent.
Here's the deal. Like, I won't care because I'll be dead, but I mean, I care enough about my remaining family. I care enough to not, like, I don't want to die and have everyone talking about my dong or my naked. Oh, he looks so disgusting. For my wife and my daughter, I don't want them to have to go through that.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the emergency people or whatever finding me. It's someone who doesn't need to see that I'm worried about.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to die naked.
Yeah, you don't want your daughter finding you naked because she'll be like, wow, no wonder they play wrestling all the time.
I have no idea what you're implying there. I have no idea, and I don't want to know what you were doing. What you're implying by that comment.
I was implying that you had a large dong, but if you're going to blow it off, that's fine.
Either way, I don't want to think about either, no matter what you were saying there. But I don't want to die naked. Good Lord. Because then because when someone dies, right,
depending on the circumstances, they'll leave you where you are until the coroner can come.
Don't they leave you until the police at least get a look over the situation to make sure that?
Yeah, the coroner has to come and declare him legally dead. So
I don't want to die naked. I don't want my naked body to.
I'll throw a blanket over you.
Does your dong shrivel up when you're dead? I don't want to look. I don't want to be like Steve, have an invert.
So Steve's already dead? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't want my peen looking like Steve.
Holy crap, he's got an innie.
My penis is already dead. I can't even find it.
That's what I mean. Wouldn't you hate that? Oh my God.
When my stepdad died, he died he gorked out in the bathroom. It was probably dead before he hit the floor. And
he was what, on the toilet or?
No, I think he was shaving.
Oh.
And my mom tried to drag him to the living room, and that's where when she called me, that's where she called me like an hour after it happened. When I got there, he was still laying in the living room covered up with a blanket, and we were still waiting on the coroner.
Huh. But she carried him.
That was on Christmas Day.
Was he shaving and he accidentally, when he fell, he slit his throat?
No, was he shaving or? I don't remember. I think he was using an electric razor.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you don't want to make it look like something bad happened,
Right.
and then be dragging someone because then they have questions and stuff. You know what I mean? Carla says, so you're saying you don't want your peewee to look like a slug that had salt sprinkled on it? Yeah. What if, and I don't know what happens when you die, but what if my penis starts to inverse or starts inverting? Everybody be like, oh my God, his penis was tiny.
If that's true, then I'm going to end up with a vagina.
You're going to end up with an Annie.
I don't want to, you know what I mean? That would just be horrible. And all the first responders would be talking about it. Oh God, that would just be horrible.
If I'm ever in the process of dying, fluff me up first, so that
make me look good. Good Lord, I don't want people saying horrible things about my dead body.
Oh, yeah, I've run into that situation a few times. Let me grab the right one.
Good.
That would be bad. Yeah, that's something you can't wipe from your brain.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Like, Steve, do you want to die naked? Because didn't you say Christina's the one that you want to come in and?
Well, probably. I mean, no, she'd have to come in and clean it out after they remove my body.
Erase his browser history.
Okay, well, Steve, let's say that we go to do the show. Let's say that you don't show up for a show one morning. This happened with Jimmy. He didn't show up for the show one morning.
Right.
And Jimmy always showed up to every show. And we're like, why the hell didn't he show up? And then finally, the police went by his apartment. And when they opened it, they found him dead. So who do you want to go to your apartment if you don't show? Because you never miss a show. If you don't show up to a show,
well, I already know.
You want
call the police.
You want Christina to go by, or you want the police to go by? I'm trying to put it for Christina. Christina's.
Thank you.
Please.
Well, I think
Anybody but me.
Probably what will happen is that after the show was over, after you called and left a message on my phone, rest in peace, my friend.
You know.
I would think that Christina would probably call the police department
and have them come open up.
Have them come over and check, and then they find me dead, and they could haul my body out, and they probably Christina and Danny come in and clean out all my personal effects.
TJ says Steve wants Robin to find his body.
Oh, we're going to hammer to him.
She'd be like, "Yeah, let's take one last ride."
Oh.
Well, Steve,
does a man get an erection when he dies or anything?
It depends on the position of the body. It's what I was just getting ready to tell Steve. If you plan to die, roll over on your stomach. That way, the blood will pool in your penis and make it look larger.
Okay, I'll remember that.
So you say if you die on your stomach, your penis is larger? Oh wow!
Yeah. The second you die, your blood starts to settle, horizontally. So, like the guy we found in his man cave and his tidy whities and his wife beater, he was sitting on a stool when he died, so all of his blood pooled in his legs. If you're on your back, it's all going to pool in a nice layer along the backside of your back, your butt, your extremities, things like that. If you're on your stomach, thanks to gravity,
it'll all pull into your penis.
Well, if you do it right.
I like what Cindy says. Shelly's going to find Steve naked in his chair.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Only hammer time.
only if the Only if the
What is that? What does that mean? What are you doing?
light thing is pulled. Light thing is pulled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, light thing is pulled. Because it happened the other day on Monday when I got out of the shower. I'm sitting on my bed, powdering up and finishing drying off, and all of a sudden I hear this fuck. And it beat again. Next time my door flies open and there stands Shelly and Robin. Steve, are you okay? Fuck. Yes, I just got out of the shower. I bumped the damn thing.
Why do you do that? Why do you bump the?
Because of where it is, and the way I get out of the shower, I evidently my arm brushes up against it or whatever. All you gotta do is bump it, and the light switch goes down, and it starts blinking and buzzing, and
Very disturbing.
as soon as they evidently they were out in the hallway when it happened, and
So they thought you were dead.
yeah, so they immediately, not giving me a chance to say anything. They immediately knock once and open the door. Steve, yeah, I'm fine, I'm sorry. Next thing I know, and Robin walks on, and Shelly's like, I have to walk towards it, and she finally grabs the door and closes it.
When we lived in the apartment, the help switch in the bathroom was right under the towel rack, and I can't tell you how many times I set the switch off trying to get my towel off the rack because it would catch on the button.
Right.
Brady says, "Don't your balls release when you pass?"
That's
can,
right.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Oh my god!
If you got a round in the chamber, there's a good chance it's gonna.
Yeah.
Oh,
because your body relaxes.
Yep.
when you were a first responder, would you find dead people, Dan?
Yeah, several times.
Oh my god! Do they have bowel movements? Oh good.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Happens a lot in car wrecks. Somebody dies in a car wreck, there's a good chance.
Really? They have a bowel movement after a car wreck?
Well, what do you yell when you start having a wreck? Oh shit!
Oh,
What do you do it?
Oh my goodness. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that you had so if you've got if your colon is filled.
If you have a round in the chamber.
Yeah, when you die, it'll.
Yeah, because there's a muscle holding that in. And when you die, all the muscles relax, and most of the time that thing will pop open and everything just steves right on out. Dead people.
Like I'm just trying to check right now if I have a round in the chamber.
I think I do.
Causing my back pain.
I gave off a big shotgun shell. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, my turds lately. Oh my lord!
No one.
Here we go on this.
No one wants to hear about your bowel movement, Steve.
I have several rounds in the chamber, and the gun's jammed. So there.
No one wants to hear about your bowel movements, Steve. Sounds like you're getting ready to explain them, but
okay, I was going to explain it because it was.
I just don't. No one wants to hear it. You know what I mean?
Okay, fine. I won't say anything. I'll just sit here, keep my mouth shut.
And then the first time he opens it, poop comes out.
If you were to die now, Steve, do you think that you would fill those underwear? You know what I mean?
Oh, let me think. What did I have? Oh yeah, I had. No, I don't think so because I didn't eat a big dinner. Beat a big dinner last night, so I just had a TV dinner.
Lately, I've gone. There seems to be a lot.
I've been going every other day, and man, you want to talk? We're talking logs here. We're not talking solid, nothing liquid about. We're talking spackle your bathroom concrete logs.
Melissa says, I follow a guy on TikTok who does autopsies, and he said sometimes they have to put a butt plug in. Oh my!
Oh,
I've heard,
Really? Is that true?
yeah, Dan, is
that true? They sometimes have to put a butt plug in.
morticians do. They put
Yeah.
they have to put a butt plug in your butt so you don't leak.
Yep. That's part of the funeral prep.
Yeah,
Oh my God! They put a butt plug in.
have
Is
to.
that what those were first made for? Was for dead people?
Probably.
And now the living has found a way to enjoy those.
Who figured out that it was pleasurable? That's what I want to know. Who first said, "Oh, that's
Probably
pleasurable"?
the mortician. He's like, you know what? That looks like fun. Let me try.
It was probably a mortician that said, "Oh my God, I wonder how that would feel." Maybe that's how that started.
I'm going to insert this in my butt and
Yeah.
see how it feels.
So that's why that corpse is smiling.
Good Lord.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ah.
I wanted, when I worked at the cemetery, I wanted to be a mortician because
gee, I wonder why.
Why would you want to be a mortician?
think about it. I want you to think about it. Talk about
No.
jobs.
No,
Talk
I don't
about-
want to think about why.
Talk about job security.
Right.
People are always
That's
going to
not
die.
why. He's so full of shit. That's not why.
Everybody's going to die.
No.
And you get
I
to
mean-
see every one of them naked.
Well, that's a plus, but
Oh
what I'm saying.
no! Just seeing people naked is not a plus. Because there are a lot of people that look disgusting naked.
Well, even people that used to be attractive look gross, dead.
Yeah.
Well, like I said before, I'm at certain temperature, certain body temperature, and then I'd have to say no. That's a little bit too cold. I need to be a little bit warmer body. Yes, Holly, I've been checking my mail. Smiley sent me something, and it didn't come in the mail, and said it was delivered. And I've had to go walking down there every freaking day now, and it's just not there. It's not there.
Karen says, "Isn't it time to wrap it up, please?"
She said earlier, it's a shame you don't have to go work out right now.
I know, dude. That's what sucks. This back, I really, really, really want to. I think if I could work out, I could
Might
loosen it up.
I wouldn't try ropes. Just try something light.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think. 'Cause
I'm serious.
You did a lot of ropes last week before you went to your dad's service.
But
Yeah.
here's the deal. I can't, I'll get done. I'll finish the show and then I'll need to walk out to my living room. I would have trouble walking to the living room because I can't walk. My right leg, this is honest to God. My back is so bad when I try to walk, my right leg goes numb.
You've got a pinched nerve.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I can't even.
You're going to have to go to a chiropractor or something.
Shit. So I can't.
You might have, standing there in the cemetery, you might have slipped a disc and it's causing you to pinch that nerve. So you're going to have to go to a doctor.
Well, I'm taking muscle relaxers, and I use a heating pad and all kinds of stuff. In fact, I used THC balm last night.
If you slip the disc, none of that's going to do you any good because it's not going to go away until the chiropractor can reset that disc.
But yeah, so I can't even walk, or I would go to the Fit Club, but I couldn't even drive there. You know, I feel good in my chair, but when the show's over, I'm going to have to get up and try to make it to the living room or back to the bedroom, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. So Holly says someone stole the package that she sent you, Steve. Is that?
That's the only thing we can figure out. Because
Well, that's happened before, hasn't it? You've got porch pirates around there somewhere?
Do you
Hasn't somebody
have?
stolen your package before?
but that was tomatoes, and Shelley took those because she thought because Karen left them for me on my grill, and Shelley didn't want them to spoil, so she forgot them, and they came back the next day. But this is her, according to Holly's tracking. It was delivered Friday. I went down and checked, no mail. I went always to the mailbox, no mail. It's Saturday, no mail. Nothing at the door.
What did she send you? What did she send you?
A Christmas present.
Oh, was it weed?
I don't think it was.
I hope it wasn't weed.
Per se.
It was accoutrement.
It could have been some edibles or something.
No, it was. She sent me. She told me what she sent me. Because so I don't have to buy any more of these vapes. She bought me the vape where now I can buy just the cartridge.
Yeah.
She sent me the thing and it's charged all the time. She sent me 2 of them. She sent me one for a vape and one vaporizer that I can buy.
Okay.
Dab, and I can put little dabs in it. It heats it up. I don't have to buy these disposable vapes anymore.
So you think one of your neighbors stole your? I bet it was Robin.
She would be the only one that would really know what they are, I believe. Oh. I've been checking. I've been walking all the way down. I've been tired, man.
Good.
I've been walking every day.
Look at your walking.
I know, because my legs are really fucked up, man. I can't.
It happens a lot this time of year. People, they see boxes on a porch. Hey, it must be a Christmas gift. Let me see what's in there. What'd you get?
I'll tell you, I got a gift from Irene last night. It was such a wonderful gift. It really was. And it was, and I told my wife, I'm like, hey, look at this, what Irene sent me. And my wife was like, oh my God. I mean, it was really nice. And my wife, when I get stuff in the mail, my wife is very rarely, like one time Tyler sent me a gift. And inside the card, I opened it, there was a gift for me, but there was also a gift for my wife in the card. And I said, here, this is for you. And I gave it to her and she was so moved. She's like, oh my God. And then last night she looked at what Irene sent and she was like, she goes, your fans love you. And I said, oh, and I was trying to play it down. I go, well, they like having something to do in the morning. She goes, no, they really, really like you. And I go, well, no, I'm very fortunate. I said, I'm very fortunate. I'm filling whatever, I was trying to play down my credit for anything.
Right.
And because usually if I play it up, she goes, well, you have a lot of co-hosts. You're very fortunate. So I try to play it down. So I end up getting in that conversation. Oh, I mean, so I was like, oh, well, I'm lucky to have great listeners, blah, blah. But my wife last night was very impressed. So I just want to thank Irene. You also, she was wondering who the hell Bradley Jobson was.
We know who Brad is. That's her alter ego when she gets kicked off the show.
I was like, well, that's Irene's husband. My wife goes, oh, she goes, well, there's a package from her. And she goes, but I thought it was mailed to some guy named Brad. I just thought they got the wrong house. She goes, I was going to give it back to the mailman or tell UPS they sent the wrong item here. I'm like, no, that's mine. And so, yeah, I was hoping, but no, she was very impressed with it. So thank you, Irene. It was very nice. And
that reminds me,
yeah,
Thursday before Christmas is going to be the gift exchange. So if you don't have your stuff bought, you need to get it bought and sent or bought and delivered.
Okay, I think I'm going to mail mine to the person. I don't want to give things away, but
thank you for reminding me. I didn't do that today.
Yeah, when I was going to ask Jason, how long does it take for mail to show up at someone's house?
I know one good thing about. I don't know about the mail. I know a good thing about Amazon is they tell you when it can be expected. So
yeah,
I was going to send it through the mail.
Yeah, you can do that. I think though Springfield mail has to go like St. Louis or Carlinville or some shit like that before it comes back up here.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Jason, how long is it taking now?
Yeah.
Like, how long would it be? I did not get Dan or Christina, but how long would it take to mail something to your house? That's what I wanted to ask Jason. Like, if I was going to mail something to Dan and Christina, how long would it take to get there?
Jason says it goes to Champaign first.
Oh, Jesus.
Even if you're mailing from Springfield to Springfield.
So say I'm just mailing to somebody. Say that I think Holly lives close to me. Say I was mailing something to Holly. Would that take a long time too?
Mm-hmm.
That's
You're
what
probably better off just to drive by our house and drop it off.
I know
Throw it out the window.
I know people who got Irene or Tom because they live in
Right.
Well, Tom lives in what, Connecticut?
Yeah.
And Irene lives in Georgia. I know that wouldn't it take a while to get there, right? But if you're sending something to Holly, I mean, Holly lives literally 5 minutes from my house. It shouldn't take that long, right? But I don't know.
No idea.
You wouldn't think, but what do we know?
It's all got to be sorted.
Well, I got
Goes to the sorting center.
my mother-in-law sends my wife something for her birthday and for Christmas every year, right? But sometimes she won't get like my wife's birthday is December 2nd, but sometimes the stuff that my mother-in-law sends, it won't get here till almost Christmas. You know what I mean? So but my mother-in-law lives in Corpus Christi, Texas. You know what I mean? So that's what I understand that because it's a long distance. But if I'm sending something to Karen says she sent Dan and Christina Christmas cards. She got hers a few days later. Dan's got there a day or two after that. That's crazy.
Yeah. She put them in the mail at the same time, and I got my card 3 days later than hers.
That's nuts.
I have what's called informed delivery from the post office. I get a thing every day that tells me what's been sent recently, and I should be looking for it on this day. And like the other day, it told me I had a package coming soon. Watch my mailbox. It's annoying as fuck getting that every day, especially when I don't get shit every day. But it's kind of handy when I know I have something coming. It'll tell me you have a box on the way. Look for it on this day.
I mean, I don't know if I have that or not.
You can sign up for it online.
Well, I don't.
Holly says she has it too, and she loves it.
My wife gets the mail. I don't get it. I know our mailman leaves the mailbox open all the time.
That's weird.
Yeah, like he doesn't shut the mailbox. Like the mailbox thing is always down. You know that thing you pull off the front of the mailbox?
Yeah, the door.
Yeah,
Most
it's always
call the door. What happened to him?
He's high.
He farted and tickled his balls.
You know he's high as hell right now. I know how high he was when we started the show because he was talking to himself. And he's been vaping the entire show, so you know his level of highness right now is very.
I knew he was high before we came on. We were sitting backstage, and he was like this.
Yeah.
That's how I knew he was high.
Or else he's sitting there going. He's humming to himself.
Mm-hmm.
The other day he was going, fat load of shit. I'm a fat load of shit. I'm a fat load of shit. I want to steal another day old donut. That's how high he was. He was singing about himself. Oh, well. Yeah.
How dare you talk about somebody else's box? What do you know about Ray's box, Holly? Your box may pop open easy, but I bet Ray's nice and tight.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that's every time I like back out to go to the gym, I'll see my mailbox will beat me down. I never get the mail. I never get it because then my wife would complain.
Yeah.
She'd be
What'd
like,
we get?
Nothing. Like, what the hell are you getting the mail for? I don't know. Well, you don't get the mail. I'd be like, I don't want to have that argument, so I never get the mail. Because I imagine there'd be an argument about that.
Yeah, because she'd go to check the mail and it'd be empty, and we didn't get any mail today. Oh no, I got it.
I know because this is my wife. She'd come home, and then she'd go outside, and she walks all the way to the mailbox, even though it would just be easier to pull up to the mailbox, reach in and grab it. She gets inside, then she goes back outside to get the mail. If she walked all the way out there in like 20 degrees and there's no mail, I know she'd come in. And if I said, oh, the mail's over here, I already got it, I know she would yell at me.
What the hell?
Your house is getting burgled and your dog just...
I think one of the cats just swiped a dog. That's what it sounded like.
Okay. If Christina's going to get them mail, it'll take about 2 days to get there. They got to walk about 4 miles just to get to the fucking mailbox. I'd hate to have to take the trash out of that fucking house. God damn.
You should see how we have to do it.
Where do you take the garbage? Where do you take the trash?
The driveway is a 1/4 mile long.
Yeah, I'm just...
The cans go all the way at the end of the driveway by the road. So what usually ends up happening is, am I allowed to say this on the air?
Oh, I don't care.
We have trash only comes twice a month, which pisses me off. We pay more than most people pay for a month's service. We only get it twice a month. And what we end up doing is like Elliot will sit in the trunk of the car with his feet hanging out, and he'll hold one barrel, and I'll sit in the passenger seat of the car with my arm out the window holding the other barrel, and she'll drive real slow down the driveway.
You drive the garbage can to the end of the...
Fucking right.
Oh my God. I would have Elliot walk the cans down.
He's done it a couple times.
And then he'd say, oh, but there's 4 cans. Well, then you're making 4 trips. He plays football. He plays sports. He needs to get himself in shape to do that.
Last week, the cans were, they'd been picked up. Cans were empty. I said, go get the trash cans. He said, who's driving me? I said, you're walking.
Yeah.
He made 2 trips.
When I was a kid, we would have to burn our garbage in Gillespie, where I grew up. And my mother would say, take the trash out and burn it. I'm like, what? So I would have to take all our trash out. We had 6 kids. So there's a lot of trash at my house. And I'd have to take it all outside and I'd have to burn it. And in Gillespie, you could not leave a burn barrel unattended.
Right.
You had to burn your garbage. Okay. You had to burn your garbage, but you had to stand by it while it burned.
Yeah.
Because if the police came by, and the police would drive down the alleys. If Kelly's in here, she's from Gillespie. I don't know if they still have. I don't think they still burn it. But in the 80s, we would burn our garbage. You had to stand out there while it burned. If they went by and they saw a burn barrel burning with no one standing by, you get a ticket.
Yep.
So my mom would yell at me to go burn the garbage, and I'd have to stand there. I'd have to stand there and wait while the garbage burned. It was so ridiculous.
Oh, you were the oldest.
Yeah. No, I wasn't, but I wasn't the oldest.
Oh, that's right.
My brother Rick's older than me. Unbelievable.
In Edinburgh, everybody has, well, not everybody, but it used to be a lot of people had burn barrels, but you weren't supposed to burn your garbage. You were only supposed to burn trash, cardboard, paper, things like that. Not garbage. So, no kitchen waste, no diapers, none of that shit. But people will do it all the time, and it fucking stinks.
Yeah. Well, but we had to pay for it, and then a garbage man would come down the alleys, and they would throw out everything that was burned.
Yeah.
They would pick up your back,
Yeah, I've seen a lot of trash trucks caught on fire that way.
Yeah. That's how I've never understood burning the garbage, but that's what we had to do when I was a kid.
Now out here, we burn all of our cardboard and paper and things like that. That doesn't go in the trash. We have a burn can that we put stuff in.
Well, you guys do live out in the middle of nowhere, but
Yeah.
it is. I see a lot of people burning their leaves now.
Yeah, fuck that. Leave those leaves alone, man. It's better for your yard if you don't burn them. Leave them alone.
A lot of people rake their leaves into the ditches and then burn it,
No.
which is crazy, but they do.
Yeah.
And you're not. I know in Springfield you're not supposed to burn stuff in the city limits, right?
They have special burn days, I think.
Damn.
You can burn on this day. Or no, did they get rid of that? I know some municipalities have a burn day, and others, you can't burn. You have to put them in the leaf bags.
But I live now. I do live out near the lake, but I live in Springfield. I live in Springfield, so you're not allowed to burn in Springfield city limits. And yet, I know there's some bastard burning around here because sometimes I open the door and I'll be like, "Holy shit, what is that?" It's sometimes when you go to Steve's house, you open the door and it's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
Something's been burning in there.
Mm-hmm.
Something like weed. If a bunch of weed's been burning, you can't help but smell it.
you get these grass Nazis out there that want to rake every single leaf out of their yard before winter, and then come springtime, they're putting fertilizer down. If you just go over that shit with a lawnmower and let it sit on the grass, you won't need fertilizer next year.
Dude, I'll tell you, my neighbor's the only one with a tree too, but he's got a tree that, he's out raking leaves every day.
No, fuck that.
Every day. He rakes.
That shit alone.
If one fucking leaf falls and he can't rake it, he goes nuts. He's out raking every single day.
Leave that shit alone.
That's crazy.
Much better for your grass if you just leave that shit alone.
It's nuts. I can't remember raking. I've never raked. But it's unbelievable. This guy's raking every day. Oh well. Kelly says, she says, I have a burn pile now for yard waste. That is the size of a garage, but the neighbors use it too. Oh, well, there you go.
Oh,
I can't stand when people burn grass clippings. That shit fucking stinks.
But like I said, when I grew up in Gillespie, we would burn our trash and I would have to stand by while it burned because my mother, get out there and burn the garbage. I'm like, you got 5 other kids. Why am I the one that has to burn the garbage? You go burn the garbage. God damn. I was the kid that she hated,
I was actually getting ready to say that, but I thought I'd be nice.
Parents don't admit it. You always have a favorite. They always have a favorite.
And then they have a least favorite.
Yeah. And they have a least favorite. We had 6 kids. Trust me, I know who the least favorite was. I know who the least favorite was. The kid that had to burn the trash and the kid that had to, I got all the shitty jobs. Like my mom would, put out the orders. Well, make sure that this is done and you do this. And by the way, my sister is her favorite. And I am the least favorite. I'm just at the jobs we were given. It's obvious who was who. And I'm telling you, I was the least favorite. Every shitty job was given to me. There was 2 years where I was put on kitchen duty. And I'm like, what do you mean I got to wash the dishes? My grandparents came from Chicago. And I would tell my grandfather, I'm like, oh, she's making me wash dishes again. He'd be like, oh, mijo, why you wash the dishes? I go, well, your daughter, my mother, she forces me. I gotta wash the dishes every damn night. And my grandpa would go, oh, mijo, I gonna fix this for you. So my grandfather buys a brand new dishwasher for his house. And he takes the old dishwasher, right? And he puts the old dishwasher in, he had a big Buick. And he and my grandmother drive from Chicago down to Gillespie. and they drive with the dishwasher. And this is how sweet my grandpa was. So he shows up with my car and a dishwasher. He goes, I got a gift for you. He sees my mom. He goes, oh, mija, I got a gift for you. I'm gonna set this up and blah, blah. So he goes in to my kitchen and he sets up a dishwasher where this thing goes over, and this is the 80s. So you would have the water spout and you put this thing over the water spout.
Yeah.
And then it's connected to the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And he goes, he goes, now you're not gonna make now Butchie won't have to do the dishes every night. It's so mean. He has the football practice, and then you make him do the ditch. He's not going to sleep till 8:30. He would yell at my mom. He'd be like, your son is not getting to sleep until 8. I couldn't even start homework because I would have to listen. With me, I would have practice after school. I played football, I played basketball, baseball, or I was in the school musical. So I wouldn't get home from school till like 6:30, 7:30 at night, And then my mother would make me do dishes for a meal I didn't even eat because I was never home for dinner. But because I was the least favorite kid, I would be forced to do dishes. So my grandfather brings down a dishwasher and says, now that her son's not going to have to stay up and do the dishes. And my mom's like, oh, thank you, Father. And she's being so nice to her dad. And then my grandparents go back to Chicago. And then my mother's like, unhook that fucking dishwasher. Unhook that goddamn thing. We don't need a fucking dishwasher. And then she sells it. First, I'm like, oh my God, I've got a dishwasher. So now I'm not going to have to do dishes. And then she sells the dishwasher. And I go, how are we going to do dishes? We're not going to do. You're going to do those dishes. And I still had to do the dishes. What a mean woman she was.
Wow.
Horribly mean. It's horribly mean. And then she got mad. At 16, I move out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to college. I'm moving out. Oh, you're moving. And then I leave. I transfer from that college back home. And then I immediately moved into a trailer with some buddies of mine. Why do you want to live away from home? I didn't feel like saying it. I don't want to have to do fucking dishes every night till 10 o'clock at night. Like I would have homework and stuff from school. Here's my mother. I would have homework from school. I'll be like, listen, I got a lot of homework. Fuck the homework. You make sure you get this and this and this and this done first. Homework was never a priority for my mother. I would be up till midnight, doing homework because I had to do all this other shit every night. I couldn't wait to get the hell out of my house.
I don't blame you.
In fact, my brother and then I had to start paying rent at 16 in my house. At 16, my mother goes, that's when you start paying rent. I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to get out of this house. I had to pay rent at 16. So I played football, basketball. I was in the musicals, the plays. I was constantly busy. And yet my mother said, well, at 16, you got to get a job. By the way, I had a job at 14. My father made me work for him in his, my father ran a restaurant. He worked in Springfield, but he was running a restaurant in Auburn when I was 14. He made me work for him. At 14 years old, I would wake up in Gillespie and drive all the way to Auburn because my father, he had a drinking problem. So he taught me how to drive when I was 14. And no one could figure this out. Now that my father's dead, I'll explain why. Because he was so hammered, he couldn't drive. He taught me how to drive so he could sleep on his way to work. That's what happened. So at 14 years old, I would drive. In fact, I think that's why he gave me the job. So he would have a driver. I would drive my father's vehicle with him sleeping all the way from Gillespie to Auburn at 14 years old.
That's a pretty good drive, too.
Which is crazy. What kind of person lets their 14-year? So I got no break. My mother would make me do all this insane. So at 16, my parents were divorced by then. And I was like, oh my God, thank God they're divorced. Now I'm not going to have to fucking work every Saturday. And by the time I was 16, he had already moved. They moved, I don't know where they moved, but I had to go out and get a job. I had to go to McDonald's and get a job. And McDonald's was in Litchfield. And my mother would say, well, if you got to work, you could drive. So I could use her car. I could use her car if I was going to work. But if I was going out to party or whatever, I was not allowed to use her car. But I could use it for work. Well, isn't that insane? That's what I went through. So I would go to work. So I would have to find a way to put in enough hours at McDonald's to where I could make enough money to pay the rent to her. Because at 16, you had to pay rent in my house. So I would have football practice, basketball practice, play and musical practice. And plus I was the class president. So I had to do the after school, what did they call it? The student council meetings and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do that. And plus I had to do the dishes every night when I came home. And I had to somehow get another job. And my mom would get pissed at me about me not work. Like I would have at McDonald's, they say, hey, would you like to work a blah, blah, blah shift? And I'd say, no, I can't do that. I got football practice. My mother would get so upset. Why didn't they offer you hours? I said, Ma, I can't work the hours then. I would have to take a shift. At McDonald's. So I would do football practice, then come home, do the shit. And my mother would make me take a shift at McDonald's that wouldn't start till 8:30. And I'd work 8:30 to midnight.
Damn.
Which is insane.
Wow.
And I had to do that. I would have to come home from school, do the dishes, then drive to McDonald's, put on that stupid fucking uniform, and then drive all the way home at 12:30 at night, and then start my homework. It was insane. Dude, it was fucking crazy. I never got to sleep. I'd be up till 2:30 in the morning doing homework. I'd be like, God damn it. And then my paycheck would come. And I would just give it to my mom so she can go cash it and have rent. I'd be like, son of a bitch. So we started a band when I was a freshman in high school. These guys had a band, and I was the lead singer of the band. So we would make band money, and I'd come home with the cash from the band gig, and I go, there's your fucking rent. And then I just I'm not working at McDonald's the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Because I'd pay the rent in advance.
Yeah.
And then my mom would go, why aren't you working? I go, because I don't have to work. I already paid you the fucking money. So I go to McDonald's. I said, just keep me off the schedule the next 2 weeks. I'm off. So, you know what I mean? If I didn't have to pay rent, why would I?
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking go out of my way to work at McDonald's. I'll just do my homework. And then at one point, I got a girlfriend. I had all that shit to do and a girlfriend. Oh, my God. It was fucking miserable. I'm telling you. Finally, at some point, I figured out what's easier. Yeah. You're right. When I started getting girlfriends and stuff, that became my top priority. And when my brother Rob moved back, because my brother Rob, at one point, he got sick of all this bullshit, and he just goes, I'm out of here. And my mom's like, what do you mean you're out of here? You're 13. He goes, I'm out of here. He went and called my dad. He moved in with my dad. He went to live with my dad and stepmom. And they lived somewhere up here. They lived, they lived somewhere in Springfield. So he would move up with them. And I was like, God damn, why can't I move up there? Well, because I was too involved in what was going on at school.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, I can't just leave because I got so much. I wanted to play football, and I could have played football in wherever the hell I think they lived in Springfield, so I would have probably gone to the Springfield schools. Got the shit kicked out of me every day. I don't want.
Yeah. Southeast.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they went to high school in Chatham, or it was either Chatham or Rochester or something. But still, I didn't want to go through that. So I stayed, and somehow I still got B's. You know what I mean? I still made honor roll all the time. But it was because I took Spanish. You know what I mean? Because when I was a little kid, I spoke Spanish because my grandparents taught me how to talk. You know, because I'll get my mom. My mom was a fucking hard worker. I mean, she was working. She had my brother Rick, and then she had me. They thought my dad was dead, so that's how I ended up with his name. But then I was a little baby, and by the time I was like 1, my mother had already gone back to work. We were in Chicago, and she had a job. So my grandparents were the ones that raised me when I was real young. So I spoke Spanish before I spoke English, because when my grandparents were together, they spoke Spanish. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing I heard was them talking to each other. So I learned Spanish. So in high school, I was able to take Spanish, and I remembered enough to where I knew I would pass that class.
Right.
I took 3 years of Spanish. So thank God, because I never had to fucking study that. You know, that was more just remembering stuff. By the way, now I can't hardly understand the language. I can hardly speak it. I don't know how that. By the way, I will never understand that. As a child, I learned Spanish before English. Right now, it's so hard for me to have a conversation. I have somewhere else. If you guys look at my Facebook, you'll see sometime where my cousins and from Mexico will put messages up, and they write their messages in Spanish.
Yeah.
And you'll see sometimes I answer them, but if you guys understood Spanish and you understood my answer, you'd be like, this is like a kindergartner talking to a college senior, because I'm less than intermediate in that language anymore. It's hard for me to understand. I eventually pick up on all of it. Like I remember some words, but not all of them. So, you know, just I wish I remembered it all. I wish I remembered Spanish more. Like my cousin Greg, Buddha, he's the same as me. He was a baby. My grandparents watched him as well, so he knew enough Spanish, and he grew up in Chicago, so they were constantly speaking Spanish around him. So he now is fluent. I mean, he's fluent in Spanish, and he works for Google, and they send him overseas. Like he's going to Spain. And in fact, he might be in Spain now, but he's in Spain, and he'll converse directly. And then he also speaks, I don't know he's also learned some other languages. I'll tell you, I think growing up in Chicago was great for him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I never grew up with my nieces, but they speak that. What is it called? Tagalog.
Tagalog.
Yeah, they're Filipino.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because they grew up in Chicago.
Yeah, they're in Chicago.
They have people they can speak. Here's my problem. My father had an uncle or somebody that lived in Gillespie. So for some reason, my parents left Chicago and moved to Gillespie. So I ended up going to Gillespie Community School when I was like in first grade. Okay, because I went to kindergarten in Chicago. And somehow we moved to Gillespie. And so here's the thing. I didn't have anyone I could speak Spanish to. Because my mother didn't. My father couldn't speak Spanish because He's he was Scottish or some whatever. So he never learned Spanish. My mother spoke Spanish fluently when she lived in a family of other Mexican speaking people. But when she moved to Springfield, or when she moved to Gillespie, there was never any Spanish being spoke. So I didn't have anybody to speak it to. You know what I mean? So I forgot.
Right. Yeah.
So, it's just crazy. It's just, I wish if I'd have grown up in Chicago, I'm sure I would have continued speaking Spanish, or at least while learning English, I would have understood Spanish still, because I'd have someone to speak it to. It just, you lose it. And now in my 50s, I hardly remember any of it. I remember just enough to answer family members' posts on Facebook. Like, even now, someone will come into the chat room and speak Spanish, and I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck is it. It would take you 5 minutes to decide for it.
Can I read? What?
Yeah.
I used to work with a lady who was of Hispanic descent, and her accent was heavily, it was very much accented. English was definitely her second language. And she was married to a white Polish guy who, spoke English, but it came out sounding Polish. And he had to learn Spanish with his Polish accent, and she was learning Polish with her Spanish accent. And it was funny as fuck.
I'm telling you, like my grandmother. Okay, my grandfather was born in San Luis Obispo in Mexico. So he ended up getting a job at the railroad. My grandmother, my great grandmother was I think I've told this story before. She was the daughter of a maid who worked for some royal family in Mexico City. Okay, so I guess she's Spanish because she was the maid of one of the royal family members. So her father was the son of whoever. I don't know what the titles were in Mexico City at the time. I don't know what their royal whatever. They're Spanish. It's Spanish royalty living in Mexico. So I don't know if they were dukes or what it was, but it was one of their high school kids or high school age kids got some maid pregnant. And my great grandmother was the child of that. So the royal family didn't let the maid keep the kid. In Mexico, they would donate those children. Here was the good news. There was Baptist missionaries from I think the Chicago area that were living in Mexico City. Okay? So they were living in Mexico City. And when this family went to donate the baby, they had connections with the United States citizens, aka missionaries that were working in Mexico City. So they gave the baby to the missionaries. And the missionaries adopted my great grandmother. This is, by the way, this is how great this country that we live in. This is how great the United States of America is, you guys. I'm serious. My great grandmother was a child of this situation. She should have grown up homeless and penniless, whatever. But this American family adopted her, and then she grew up with them, and they had, I forgot how many years of a mission it was, but they were in Mexico City with my great grandmother as their daughter. But because they adopted her, honest to God, my great grandmother immediately became a citizen of the United States. Even though she had never set foot in the country, she was adopted by American parents and she immediately became a citizen of the United States. And that was my great grandmother. And so because they were her parents, eventually she was able to move to the United States. And that's how my great grandmother became a citizen of this country, because she was adopted by an American family. Even though the American family lived in Mexico City, when they adopted her, my great grandmother became a citizen. Which,
Very nice.
it's amazing. This is how great this country is. I know people, for some reason, people hate immigrants now. And I hear a lot of people complaining about, all those immigrants coming over. But I'm telling you, it's like the greatest thing that happened to my family was that these American missionaries growing up or living in Mexico City adopted my great grandmother, Baptist missionaries, which is why if I had to declare a religion, even though I have my grandfather's sister is a nun, and people find it weird, but that's why I am not a Catholic Mexican, because my great grandmother lived over 100 years old, but my great grandmother was very, very Baptist, and she wasn't like Southern Baptist. And I don't understand the difference. There's something called American Baptist, which is the most moderate. It's the most liberal form of baptism, is something called American Baptist. And that's what my great grandmother grew up as, an American Baptist, because that's who her parents were, the ones that adopted her. And I don't know how long a relationship that was, because even though they adopted her, she basically grew up on her own and all that stuff.
Right.
And then eventually came to America. And she and my great grandfather had children. But my great grandfather was from like Monterrey or somewhere. He wasn't from Mexico City. I want to say he was from Monterrey, but then when they came over and their kids, and they lived in a Mexican part of Chicago, that's what sort of got my grandmother's side of the family in. And my grandfather came from Mexico, and he moved to Chicago, and then he met my grandmother, who was born. My grandmother was born to an American mother. Even though she had never been to the United States of America, she was an American citizen because of her adoption. Well, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's how freaking great the United States of America is. That's how great. So my grandmother never had to go through any of that stuff.
Right.
She never had to go through classes, and my grandfather becoming a citizen of this country, it was hard. But he married an American citizen because he married my grandmother,
Right.
who was an American citizen because her mother was American.
Right.
Even though she had never set foot in the United States of America. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's crazy, but that's how that's how great this country is.
How many military kids are born American, even though they're born in Germany or any places like that?
At Germany, Panama, you name it.
Yeah.
Americans, South Korea, there are American families everywhere. But when they have a child, their children are American. Right. Even if you adopt, and my great grandmother was adopted by Baptist missionaries. So that's how great it was. But it's amazing. It's just I just figured I'd share that tale. But, and then, so that's how it works. So when people complain about it, it always makes me mad when people complain about immigration, because my grandfather was born in San Luis Obispo. He only spoke Spanish. He didn't even know English. He learned English. Like I said, he got a job with the railroad, and they were building railroad tracks. He eventually made it to Chicago. And then that's where he lived. And And he learned English because every single day he went to the movies. Every day he'd save up a dime or whatever, and he'd go to the movies. And he learned English by watching American film or American whatever was going on in the 1920s. So he would go and watch the whatever reels they played in the movie theaters because they didn't have TV then.
Right.
That's how he learned English. And my grandmother knew English at a very early age because they had moved to the United States of America. So she learned English, you know what I mean, like that. But my grandfather learned it from going to the movies every day. And so I see people now complaining about people wanting to come over. Damn. And they group them all together. That's what makes me mad. Like you watch Fox News or something. If you would watch Fox News, you'd think that the worst thing in the world that's happening right now are people wanting to cross the southern border. You would think that's the worst. You would think that's worse than Hamas, killing all those, all the Jewish people. You would think that the worst thing is some person of dark skin wanting to come into this country in the southern border. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that there are some people that aren't very good people wanting to come in there. But I imagine that the majority of people wanting to come into this country are safe and nice. They're just people who grew up of no means. Listen, there's no fucking Mexican millionaires who are trying to come into this country. No.
No, because then they'd have to pay taxes.
Yes, I have relatives that live in Mexico City now that are very wealthy. They're not trying to come to this. They'll come to this country for vacation. They don't want to come live in this country. They'll be like, are you kidding me? Got to go to the United States and pay all these taxes? Fuck that. They're like, I'm comfortable in Mexico City. Here's what it is. It's the poor people. And that's what they don't have a problem. Americans don't have a problem. I just don't think that they have a problem with, they wouldn't have a problem with rich people coming in. They have a problem with poor people coming in. But I'm telling you, find these poor people coming in and see what they're doing for a living. See what they do for a living.
People complain about immigrants taking all our jobs, but let's see you get down there and do that. Your ass isn't going to work that job for that kind of money.
Yeah. How many people want to go pick lettuce?
Yeah.
There's no American people wanting to pick lettuce. Hell no. You need, and I'll tell you who said this, George W. Bush, when he was president, he was trying, and the Republican Party wouldn't allow him because they're crazy, but he was trying to open up a tier of immigration for these people. He would say, well, he wanted to form American citizenship through 3 different ways. One of the ways is you come to the United States to work a job that it's a tier less than regular jobs. So it would be a smaller minimum wage and everything. He had a great plan. The Republican Congress wouldn't even consider it because God forbid that meant you would allow all those people in from Mexico. I just don't understand. You guys, I'm telling you, that's why I just don't understand the Republican Party. To those of you who are Republicans, God bless you. I have nothing against you, but I'm saying I do have a problem. This is one of the reasons I have a problem with the Republican Party. It's just like this poor woman. You heard about this woman in Texas who is pregnant, and she is pregnant with, and I can't remember the name. It's a horrible condition. Her fetus, the baby has, I forgot the name of the condition. And forgive me for forgetting the name. I can't believe it. I forgot it. But they have this, the woman has, her baby has this condition. And this condition means that the baby will be born. The baby will be born, and it will possibly, if it lives during birth, most of the children die during birth. Okay.
Right.
But the most it could live after birth is less than a year. Okay. And here's the other thing. When a woman gives birth to a baby with this condition, it prevents them from ever having another child. So it creates almost certain and I don't know what the term is, but I'll use sterility as a word. I know that's not the term, but it would make the mother to where she'd be sterile. She'd never be able to get pregnant again.
Defertilization.
Yeah, she'd never be able to carry a baby to full term after having a baby with this condition. So the doctor calls the woman. This woman's in Texas. The doctor calls the woman in and says, "We did the amniocentesis on your baby, and unfortunately, your baby has blah blah blah." And I can't remember the name of the condition, but it's such a horrible condition. So the doctor says, "You cannot bring this baby to term. You can't bring the baby to term." But the woman is pregnant. She has, they say you have to abort this baby. And so she goes to the doctor. She goes, "Well, abort the baby." The doctor says, "I can't do that." And the woman says, "Well, why can't you do that?" She goes, "Well, we're in Texas, and Texas has outlawed abortion."
Right.
And the woman goes, "What do I have to do?" And the doctor says, "I don't know," because the doctors put her on travel restrictions. So the woman can't travel to another state. Because what's the nearest state from Texas that performs abortions? Because all these southern states are very anti-abortion. So this woman has to leave Texas and go to, what's on the other side of Oklahoma? Maybe Iowa or whatever?
Yeah.
Kansas, whatever. But she'd have to go there to have the baby, to have an abortion. But because she has a baby with this condition, she can't travel, right?
Wow.
So the woman's husband is like, "What do you mean my wife can't travel to get the abortion?" The doctor says, "I'm sorry, that she's on travel restrictions. She can't fly, she can't take a flight, and she can't take a train, and we don't want her to be in the car for more than an hour."
Right.
And so this guy's like, "What the fuck? She's got to get an abortion, but we can't travel?"
Right. Yeah.
So they fight it. So they go to the courts and they petition the courts to allow this woman to legally have an abortion in Texas. It goes all the way to the Texas Supreme Court.
Holy shit.
The Texas Supreme Court yesterday ruled against the woman. So she can't have the abortion. But she and her husband are like, "Oh my God, it's terrible. We're going to lose this baby because we've got to get the abortion to save." And by the way, the other thing is, it could kill the woman. When a woman gives birth to a baby with this one, it does something with the mortality rate of the mother, not just the infant. The mortality rate of the mother is too much. It is in question. So that to me is like, okay, let the woman have the abortion.
Exactly. Yes.
That's just common sense. Whether you're pro-life, pro-abortion, whatever, or pro-choice, pro-life, just let the woman have the abortion. If it's going to kill her or kill the baby or whatever, just let her have it. The state of Texas, they have fought all the way to the Supreme. So the state, I think the appellate court said she could have it, but then the state immediately filed it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of Texas ruled against the woman. So the woman now she has to give birth. But the doctor's fear is that she's going to die in childbirth and the baby won't live past whatever. So there's now a big question of what this woman's going to do. I'm serious. That's the bullshit that's going on. That's the stuff that's, and please forgive me for not knowing the name of the condition. It's TEPA, whatever. And it's a very rare condition. And certainly not everyone gets this. but this is very rare. But this woman has it, and they won't even bend for this poor woman. If you guys get a chance, I implore you, not just invite you to read up on it. I implore you to read on this, because you guys, I'm telling you, this is a very, very sad. This is a very sad situation. And you know what? This will happen all over this country, because they said this is something that less than 2% of pregnant women will ever get this condition. It's something that rare. But still, if you look at how many states in this country have outlawed abortion,
Right.
this is going to happen to more people. Now, it's one thing if you're like, is it Indiana or Kentucky? One of those countries right next to Illinois has outlawed abortion, but you just drive across the state lines. You know what I mean? You just drive into Illinois and get one. But if you're in a state like Texas, which the surrounding states,
Right, yeah. You can't
Louisiana,
travel.
Oklahoma, all those other southern states have outlawed, like Florida. They've outlawed abortion in Florida. But the states surrounding that are like Georgia and Mississippi and Alabama, whatever the hell it is. Whatever the hell it is, you got to, where the hell are they going to go for an abortion? So this woman's condition is, it's not the baby. If the baby was dying, it'd be one thing. But this woman could die if she takes a long car ride or
Right.
long flight. She could die going to another state to get the abortion. That's the condition. It's so rare. The easiest thing for this woman to do would be to go to a hospital in Texas, have them perform. I don't know how long an abortion takes, but it can't be that long a procedure.
Right.
I don't know, but I'd imagine it's got to be a procedure that's less than an hour.
Oh, I would think so, yeah.
I think even my first gastric thing only took them under an hour. So I don't know how long an abortion takes, but I imagine the easiest thing would be to just go get an abortion. And it'd be sad that your child got it, but she and her husband can try again. You know what I mean? But if she has the baby, forget it. You can't try again. The baby will be dead. And there's a good chance that she's going to die.
So she's going to die on the trip. She's going to die during delivery.
She could die during delivery. Yes, it's that bad. That's why I'm telling you guys, read this story. It's an amazing story. So basically, the state of Texas has determined that her death is less important, or her life is less important than the fetus's life.
And the fetus is only going to live maybe a year.
That's if she can do the delivery.
That's if.
There's a good chance that during delivery, she and the fetus will both die. It's not a viable fetus. The baby would be born brain dead.
The
baby would be born brain dead and probably kill her on the way out. It's insane. It's insane. And you people who are pro-life, God bless you. I stand by your belief. But I'm telling you, in this situation, it is clear that what should happen is this woman should be allowed to get the abortion.
Right, yeah.
If for no other reason, so she and her husband can try again to have a baby. And for this woman to risk her life, that's just it. And for the Supreme Court, of Texas to say that no, she still can't have a baby, that's insanity. I don't know if we're going to fight it to the National Supreme Court or how that works, but oh my God. I mean, I couldn't put myself in her and her husband's place. It's just terrible. So, but that's what's going on right now. And that to me would be, I think, I just don't understand any political body, any kind of any kind of legislators. I can't believe a group of legislators would somehow say no abortion, no exceptions. There has to be exceptions. There has to be exceptions.
Yeah.
This woman, good Lord, this is like saying, well, sorry, you have to take a gun and put it against your head and pull the trigger and hope, because that's what it's like for this woman. It's like they're forcing her to play Russian roulette.
Yep.
Could you imagine that? How do you sit through a full term of pregnancy knowing that simply delivering the baby could end your life? And that at the best, the best case scenario is the baby could live months, but it would never be it would never be a not even developmentally disabled. Like, it wouldn't be that way. It would just be the baby could do nothing for itself.
Right.
It would
just life support for its entire life.
Yeah. And you'd have to pay for that. And oh my God, it starts with a T. I see Irene's given different names, but yeah, I think it's the one that starts with a T, but I think that's what she's got. But if the baby lives, it would be, it's not like the baby would be,
well, it would never be.
It's not like a Down syndrome. Like,
right.
It's not like going to be a Down syndrome baby. No. It's just the baby wouldn't be able to do anything for itself.
Would never even be a viable human.
Yes. It would just be a little thing that shits itself. And you would have to, it would just be, I couldn't believe that a human could even be born in that condition. But I guess it's true. It's just, oh my God. Yeah. It's like Melissa says, it's a vegetative state that the baby would be born in. And I can't believe they want to put the parents through this. So, and if you're pro-life, that's fine. But why? It seems like pro-cruelty. Like, why would you want to put this family through this? You want to put this wife and husband. This would just be horrible. And they're going to have to pay all the medical bills. And it just seems, it's not like the state saying, well, we'll take care of the cost. No. I'm telling you guys, this is not a pro-life issue. This is not a viable fetus. They should let the woman have the abortion, and then she and her husband could try to have another baby in a couple of years or whatever. It's just, it makes total sense to me. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they're pro-life people. I think the parents are people who are a pro-life couple. Like, they're not fans of abortion either.
Right.
But they have, because of their doctor suggesting we've got to abort this baby. And even they've heard everything and they still want it. They still want to have the abortion. And the state won't let them get it. You guys, I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm telling, it's nuts, man. It is. That's what's going on in this country. Even Ron DeSantis, who is, if you live in Florida, you know what that guy's like. He's very, even he said, well, I'd let her get the abortion. Like, if this happened in Florida, he would allow her to get the abortion.
Right, yeah.
And he's very, very anti-abortion. But he would allow the woman to get one in Florida. And Greg Abbott and the Texas Supreme Court will not allow this woman to get it. So it's really, I just can't believe we live in a country where we're letting the state that we live in determine what the hell to do with our bodies. I just don't understand it. By the way, this should be the decision of one person and one person only.
Oh yeah.
And that's
two.
No. I'm telling you, it's the body whoever's body is carrying this fetus. That's whose decision it is. I mean, if say I had a tumor, and I'm not comparing babies to tumors, but stay with me. If I had a tumor and I would want it removed, it would be a discussion between me and my doctor. My wife would have no say in the matter. My wife wouldn't have a say saying, well, I want you to remove that tumor. And I'd say, no, I want to keep that tumor. You know what I mean? Like she wouldn't have a say. So I'm saying that even the husband's has no choice in this. It's not his body. Now this husband is saying, oh my God, I want her to live, give her the abortion. But I'm saying there's only one person, and that person is not the governor of the state or the legislation of the state or the Supreme Court of the state. I think it's very clear who has the choice in this, and that would be the mother. Like, I think it's like when I hear that a couple is pregnant and the mother just goes and gets the abortion and didn't give the father a choice, I think that's sad. But I think the choice is only one person.
No, I agree.
Only one person should choose, Only one person should make that choice. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. So if you guys get a chance, read this story. It is it's the craziest story that's out there right now.
I will not be reading it. I don't care. I don't care.
You don't care that this is.
I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I don't care.
Well,
That's how I am with all of the news. All of the news. If it's news, I don't fucking care.
You don't want
political. I don't fucking care. Doesn't affect me. I don't fucking care.
I guess
no shits will be given by me.
I guess I agree. Yeah, it's
no shit. No fuck. I don't care. It does not affect me personally.
Well, I'm saying that, like for example, I am not a drug addicted person, but I am all for. Yeah, well, he's obvious. He's got problems. I mean,
what?
There are people. What? There are like.
Your hair looks nice, Steve.
There are people who have a problem with addiction.
Oh, I don't.
And there are states in this country that don't do anything to help them. There are people that they are addicts. There are people in this country who have mental health issues.
Big puff of vapor coming up from him.
There are mental illness in this country is shockingly very high.
Oh, yeah.
And we should help these people. But yet there are places in this country where we don't do it. Look at these school shootings. And they'd find out the person that did it is mentally ill. Oh, my God. People are like, oh, we want to take away the guns or we need to do this and that. Oh, my God. Just let these people with mental illness get helped. You could lessen a lot of violence. You'll see, just mental illness and drug addiction. We have a lot of problems in this country. And people don't do anything. I guess I just don't get it.
Mental health is an underserved demographic because, a lot of the people that need mental help can't fight for themselves. So we'll just give them the bare minimum and they won't even know.
Yeah. And homelessness. Homelessness is another thing. You'll see a bunch of people living on the street.
And a lot of that homelessness stems from untreated
mental illness. Yes, thank you. That just shocks me. We get so caught up in some stuff. And to not help is, I don't know. I guess I just don't understand it. There are people in this country crippled by addiction, crippled by the way, I think it all runs in mental illness. I think that there are people, who have addictions, and I think it's tied in with it. I really do.
Yeah. The addiction is because it was their way of treating themselves. Self-medication.
Yes. And it all stems from pain. People feel pain. They feel pain. And by drinking or doing drugs, they lessen the pain.
Yep.
If somehow we could look at those people and figure out what the pain is and figure out what's causing the pain and fight that, I think we'd be doing amazing for them. They're not well. They're sick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work on that illness. If we have people that have a tumor that's causing them sicker, will end their life, we remove the tumor.
Right.
Let's start looking at mental illness as a sickness. And
that's mental illness. Hello.
Yes. I don't understand it. And I don't understand why so many people who we have elected, we have decided to vote for these people because we believe in what they're saying. And then we find out after we've elected them that they don't give a shit about mental illness. They don't care about helping people who are homeless. They don't care about helping people who are addicted.
I will never. The last politician that told the truth was George fucking Washington.
Well,
Every one of them since has been a lying piece of monkey shit.
Maybe it's George Santos on. What is he on now? He's on that Cameo website.
I have no idea what that is.
Right. George Santos is the New York congressman who they just kicked out. They kicked out of Congress because.
Oh, was he the cross-dresser?
Well, yeah, but that's not what he didn't get kicked out for that. He got kicked out of Congress because people gave him money. People gave him. This is what he's accused of, or one of the things he's accused of. People donated money by giving them their credit card numbers to put money in his election campaign. And his campaign is accused to have stolen the credit, or he is accused to have stolen the credit card numbers and used them for things other than his campaign. He stole the credit card numbers and frauded that and committed fraud to get, Botox and all these other things with the campaign money. And they had filed all the charges against him. And the Congress is like, oh no, he's go. So they kicked him out of Congress. He was disgraced, and they kicked him out of Congress. So then when he got kicked out, he said, "Well, here's what I'm going to do for a living. I'm going to do Cameo, where you pay me so much money, and I'll send a message out." And now he made more money in doing 1 week of cameos than he made his entire term as a congressman.
Wow.
He's making more money now. Isn't that nuts?
I believe U.S. congressmen get $105,000 a year. That's the set salary.
He's made more money on Cameo. Former Governor Blagojevich, when he got out of prison, first thing he did was went on Cameo. That's the first thing he did. He went on Cameo so he could send messages to people.
Wow.
Yeah.
You show me an honest politician, I'll show you one that ain't been caught yet.
Well, I think that there
No.
There's got to be some.
No.
I don't know. I've liked some politicians.
You can like them, but it doesn't mean they're honest. Every single one of them is a backstabbing piece of monkey shit. They'll tell you exactly what you want to hear so they can get your fucking money, and then they'll turn around and spend it on what this asshole over here wants.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every single one of them is a lying sack of monkey shit. Fuck them all.
I don't know. I think that
they take our tax money and they fuck off with it and don't do shit for it. They're getting paid to do nothing.
Well,
they make full-time salary on part-time hours. Fuck every single one of them.
I certainly don't believe that every single Congress.
Every single one of them.
I think my belly button 30.
Your belly
They
button.
will all tell you they got into politics to help people and give them a year or two. Oh no, now they're in it to line their fucking pockets. Every single one of them. If they're a paid politician, They're a dishonest piece of monkey shit.
Well,
The only honest ones are the ones that work for free.
well,
That's why I hate politics, because they're all fucking scumbags.
I do disagree with you.
You're allowed to. We live in America.
Yeah, I just disagree with that. However, let's get to the important news. Steve's. Is there anybody
we
shocked
just missed
by finding out that Steve's belly button's dirty? No one is shocked by hearing that.
We just missed a headline.
Every single person listening to the show ever has guessed that your belly button is dirty. I bet his belly button smells.
I don't think he needed to tell us. I think
Steve,
automatically
lift your shirt, take your finger, take your index finger, and put it in your belly button.
No.
Rub it around, then put it up to your nose and smell it. And let me know how it smells.
It's really crusty in there.
Oh, fuck.
Rub your finger around and then pull it out and smell it. Let me know how it smells.
It's crusty because he eats with his shirt off.
It really doesn't smell too bad.
Oh, what the fuck? Ray, it's 11 o'clock. You got to go.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's wrong. I bet his belly button smells.
No. Now, my crotch is a different story.
Oh, fuck me.
It's a shower day, so.
Go down.
No.
As deep as your hand could get in your crotch.
Oh, God damn it.
As far south as it gets, and wish your fingers around in there.
Oh, I needed that.
And then smell your fingers. Let me know how it smells.
Oh, man, I feel like I got a mole down there.
No, that's your penis.
Oh,
fuck.
How bad does that smell?
It's definitely a shower day today.
Smell like onions?
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Like how Irene goes, thanks to Just Beds and Recon Text for moments like this. Yes.
There you go. This is what your sponsor money's paying for.
Which reminds me, this is the very last thing I will say today. And I wanted to say it on a free show, so here we go. We have different ad rates on this show. We have signature sponsors, which, by the way, are Recon Text and Just Beds, which cost so much money. We also have a second tier of advertising that runs on this show. A second tier of advertising is one that we don't do at the beginning of the show. We do later in the show. I'll give you an example. We used to do, Holden Houston, he was the insurance, and he has the Houston Insurance Agency. You guys remember this one? I would do a commercial for him. That's our second tier of advertising. Okay. And then we have a third tier of advertising, which you guys haven't even seen yet because we haven't got anyone to pay for it yet. But there's a third tier of advertising too. For the holiday season, we want to donate to a non-for-profit charity out there. Please, non-for-profit charities, get hold of Christina on the Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster Facebook page. Get hold of us and let us know. And I am going to give away a free ad of tier 2 on this show. Free ad for a non-for-profit agency. You can get advertisements on this show. Just reach out to the Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster Facebook page, and Christina and Jason are the one. Is that right, Christina? That you and Jason?
Yeah.
Reach out to Christina and let her know, and then we'll give a free commercial for non-for-profit agencies in the Christmas season. So, and it doesn't matter what you do. You're a non-for-profit agency. Get hold of us and let us, or non-for-profit anything. Let us know, and we'll advertise on this show. So I can guarantee that anyone who listens to this show or participates in it, they will at least see your ad. That's the Christmas gift that we would like to give to the community. We would like to give free advertising to non-for-profit organizations. All right. Just reach out to us once again on the Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster Facebook page. Reach out to us. And this will include an ad during the show. And it will also include on Facebook on the Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster page, which I think has I don't know how many, but it's thousands of people are members of that. And it will also include bannering and some messages on the Facebook page, on the YouTube page, everything. So just reach out. If you are a non-for-profit agency or organization, reach out and let us give you the gift of free advertisements for this holiday season. And please, everybody, put the word out. Put the word out on your social media. Everybody who's listening, go to your social media page and say, hey, if you are a non-for-profit organization or agency, or you are involved with a non-for-profit organization, please contact us. Please contact us, and we'll give free advertising for these organizations during the holiday season. All right. Did I make that clear?
Yes.
You guys understand that? Just reach out, and you'll reach out to Christina on the Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster Facebook page. And that's how we'll help out. So please get hold of us. Other than that, Steve, make sure you take a shower today. Steve, let's scrub our testicles.
And that nasty ass belly button.
I want to Gucci blast the belly button.
Well, I know, but I'm saying use soap. You can.
I use soap every time.
I know you gooch past your balls.
I love that.
You know, it popped into my head as soon as he said that, talking about gooch blasting his belly button. Anybody ever spray a garden hose into a trash can? That's just the image I get in my head.
He's talked about it. And he always says he turns the water on.
Oh,
he turns the water on, scalding hot, and he runs the water over his testicles and his tank.
I like it when my balls shrink up real quick.
And he says it gives him pleasure. But here's the thing that you haven't mentioned. You haven't mentioned using soap.
No, I use soap every time.
So, but I'm saying, please, Steve, please soap your testicles.
I need to find some kind of soap dispenser to attach to his.
I can reach down there now. I get my fingers around them and I get some soap on them.
But I'm saying, don't just gooch blast. Use soap.
I use soap. I just don't always use soap. I use soap mainly on the left side and not on the right side.
Please soap the entire area. Because literally,
he probably has chafing on the right, and he can't use soap over there.
And I hear from Christina every week. Every week she goes, God damn, I went to clean Steve's house. She goes,
He's sniffing his fingers again, Ray.
She goes, I was 15 feet away from him, and I still smelled dirty. So Steve,
no, that's a chair.
She has smelled dirty crotch when she's 15 feet away from you. So please clean.
No, I don't think so. Can I just every day? When she comes on Friday's shower day, so I'm usually pretty clean. By the time if she's smelling anything, it's the chair.
I'm just saying that she has.
And I tried to clean the chair on Friday too.
She has smelled dirty crotch around you.
That chair needs to be cleaned with fire.
That's the dirty clothes that I needed to work on. I got to do dirty laundry today.
And it's not like she's bending over and putting her face anywhere near your crotch.
Oh, well, you don't know.
Feet away from you, and she could still smell it. So, Steve, I'm begging you, clean your crotch.
Can I just say how proud I am? How personally pleasing it is to me that a term that I invented is now ubiquitous on the show.
Yeah.
I invented Gooch Blast, and now, it's become a part of the show.
It's a simple, and nobody even has to think twice about it. Everybody knows what it is. Yeah. And by the way, if you are a longtime listener of this show, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe some newbies might not know what Gooch Blasting is, but anyone who has listened for any period of time on the show, you know what it is.
And if anybody the newbies want me to demonstrate it, I can demonstrate it. I do have a new shower curtain. That's
all right. Cool. We have.
It's time to go, Ray.
We've gone 3 hours today. Please,
it's time to go.
Going so long. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your. What is today? Wednesday.
Smoke signals.
Come again.
Smoke signals tonight.
Stroke singles.
Stroke
singles.
It's two fat men who've had strokes. attempting to
And I think it's going to be. I think we're going to have a special guest this week.
It's you and
I want
Bubba.
I know I said that last week, but
You,
I want
Bubba.
Steve and Bubba to sit in the same room and blow the smoke in each other's mouths.
oh no, that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
We'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
See you later.
Goodbye, everybody. I gotta get something to eat.
Dang, you